Serendipity. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Hi, everyone. So you're probably confused. You're probably like, AZ, you said you weren't going to do your live stream because you had a headache. Well, my headache's gone and I feel better. So here I am. Surprise! Yeah, I had a scheduled stream for 9 o'clock, and around 8 o'clock, I got like a really bad headache. And I've been getting headaches lately, which is strange. I never really get headaches that much, but I think I need glasses. I think my eyes are aging, you guys. I do think so. Is 7 here? Because it's 7's birthday. Happy birthday, 7, if you're watching this later. Hey, Sherry, you got in bed? That's fine. It's probably going to be a small stream, I mean, you can go to bed if you like. You don't need to be here to moderate, but I would love to hang out with you. It's probably going to be a very calm stream, which is a kind of good thing, right? It's late at night, so if you're watching this on the replay, thank you. If you're here now, thank you. I know it's like 11 o'clock at night where I am anyways, but I'm a night owl, and I've decided to go with it, Aging eyes, welcome to the club. So thank you, Serendipity, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know, it's strange. I've never had like headaches like this. I got to get my eyes checked for real. You're up, Shermar. All right. No pressure, Shermar. No pressure. It's only 8 there. Yep. Oh, okay. Cool, Tamira. Nice. So, guys, tinfoil hat activated. Oh shoot, we got Leon in the house. Well, if Leon's here, Leon, did you bring extra tinfoil hats for the people in the crowd? I hope so. Now, I know if you are a regular here in my Teaspiracy world, you know that I talk about all kinds of random things, right? Whatever I feel like talking about, whatever I'm passionate about, whatever happens to be on my mind at the moment kind of thing, right? So I have been following. This might not interest some of you, and that's okay. It's not for everybody. It's not drama. It's not news. Well, it kind of is news, but not really. But something different, right? We are going to venture into the conspiratorial land of YouTube. We are going to venture over into the dark abyss, into the abyss of the YouTube streets. We're going to go. I was going to say where no man has gone before, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people have gone there. And it's to the targeted individual land. Now, targeted individuals is something I have been following for quite some time, right? And the reason why is not only are these people entertaining, but a lot of them are highly intelligent individuals, right? And just like any kind of mental issue, whether it be even addiction, whatever, it doesn't discriminate, right? Now, I under the impression that majority of these people need to, see a psychiatrist. Okay, let's just keep it real. I'm pretty sure they do. However, with that being said, you cannot dare tell them that, because if you tell them, hey, maybe you should get help, they will say to you, you're only telling me that because you're one of them. Now, who is them? Not quite sure. It varies from person to person. But usually, them consists of, governmental special ops agencies. And before I dive into this, I want to say this, right? Back in the day, this stuff used to happen. Our government did a couple things that were shady, sketchy. They messed with Martin Luther King Jr. before. They tried to, they do this thing called gang stalking, and it has happened. And because that's happened in the past, right, that gives these people more ammo to be like, well, look what they did to so-and-so, right? Except the average day person isn't Martin Luther King Jr. and isn't somebody, worth mind reading, because that's what they're convinced they do, right? Now, usually when it comes to targeted individuals, right, there's usually like a few groups of people, okay? And I'm going to break it down for you. I'm not going to look at the chat for a second because I'm going to look at my list here, okay? So forgive me if I miss something, but there are usually 6 distinct kind of groups when we're talking about targeted individuals, right? The first one is, it's an invasive attack on the body, right? They'll say they are being remotely mind controlled, right? They'll get physical ailments as a direct result of this quote unquote gang stalking, like voice to skull transmission. Somebody is, just operating them with a remote control, okay? And they have implanted, in some cases, surveillance devices, whether it be in their eyes, to see what they see, okay? So there's that. So, and then there is those involving an exterior attack on the person of the subject or their senses. So it'll be like a physical interference, intimidation, or harassment targeted by noise. They believe in something called noise harassment. For example, if a targeted individual is walking down the street and somebody drives by with loud music on, right, they will say 99.9% of the time, they're targeting me with the noise. They're noise targeting me. I don't know why they're doing this to me, right? Or there goes the red car. I know that red car is a perp. They use the term perp as in perpetrator, okay? All of the, quote, bad people are categorized as perps. So that's a common word you'll hear, okay? So there's that. And then there's physical interference with the individual's environment or their possessions, like they're moving things on them. They are being followed. They are, vandalism. They're stealing their stuff. And they're also targeting their friends or family. And then usually the next one is assault on their reputation. They are targeted for the sole reason for slander, gossip, and a lot of these people will be like, I can't get a job because of the targeted harassment, right? It's just, and they're everyday people. They're not like anybody, trying to change the world here. Everyday people, right? And then, hold on, where's one more, I think. Victim of a conspiracy by multiple agencies. Like some people will list a whole laundry list of agencies that they're doing a cover up, or they're being victimized as part of a global phenomenon. Anyways, you get the hint, right? So, and like I said, a lot of these people are very intelligent people. They really are. I mean, I'm in no way bringing this to you guys' attention to poke fun, although I will be honest with you, I do laugh at a lot of these ideas that these people come up with, because it just sounds so ridiculous, right? And we'll get more into that. Do they have a lot of trolls and haters? Yes and no. The reason why I'm saying no is I don't think a lot of people venture deep into their world for obvious reasons. Like, this is the average person would be like, this is crazy. But the people that do show up and say, hey, you're crazy, they're automatically categorized as, quote, working for them. You're one of them. You're doing this to me on purpose. You're thrown in a category right away. No matter how nice you are, no matter how rude you are, if you don't agree with them, you are one of them, okay? So it is interesting. To me, it's interesting, right? You forgot your tinfoil hat. Leon has extra ones. Kimberly, have no fear, okay? Bugsy says, this is interesting. It sounds like being a victim to an extreme level. I also love to learn new things, so this is new to me. This is like, when I tell you I got lost in the rabbit hole, there are certain people, you guys, that I have followed for about a year, right? Here and there. I'm not going to say I've watched every single one of their videos, because a lot of them are mostly the same. They consist of the same talking points, the same paranoia, the same things, right? Sounds like paranoid delusions, and I believe in my heart that that's technically what it is, but you can't tell them that, okay? So, I'm going to show you a video, okay? I'm going to show you a couple different people that I've been following. I am going to ask that, obviously, I'm going to throw it out there that nobody run to their page or whatever and poke fun or, ask them how stupid they are or whatever it may be. Just kind of like, yeah, like, this is a sidelines kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Many universities in the U.S. during 1960s, yeah, Lisa, there used to be targeted gang stalking. Like I read the other night, like I said earlier, they did it to Martin Luther King Jr. to try to dismantle him, right? And that was as a direct result of, I think, Hoover. Was it Hoover that was the president? They wanted to take down the Black Panthers and this and that. And this is all documented, right? Like, this is real. This really happened, right? But these people will even tell you nowadays that they're hit with direct energy, things. And the direct energy can do anything to them. Sorry, the direct energy weapons, that's what they call them. Direct energy weapons can make you suddenly be overcome with pain, or some of them will be like, they're making my right foot numb again. Why? I don't know. Or I follow a couple people that are like, yes, Isaac Happy. Yes, thank you, Seven. Happy birthday, Seven. Definitely Isaac Happy. Good one. Then ultimately killed, right? So I just want to make that clear to you guys. Like, this stuff has happened, right? I'm not going to say it's never happened. It has, and there's history to prove it. I'm not really going to dive into the past history. I'm just going to try to show you the average day person who is not, Isaac Happy or Martin Luther King Jr. status of importance in, the world, and we'll just go from there. But I'm going to show you one of the first videos that caught my attention during this, and we'll just talk about it. Like, I'm just here to talk about it, I want to know what parts of this you guys believe, what parts you don't, what you think of these people, etc. And we'll just go from there, So hold on, let me pull something up here. I'm glad that some of you showed up here. I know it's like last second, but let's see. Which one do I want to show first? Okay. We'll do Jazzy. I like this girl Jazzy. You're going to get a kick out of this one. She's cute. Some of these people, like, I adore them. I literally think they're adorable. Like, I don't believe a word they say, but I think they're adorable. This is one of the adorable people. Let me get this set up here. Now, you're going to meet Jazzy. Here we go. Let me bring the screen up. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, let me mute myself.
I just wanna share, guys, because I just wanna break my silence, guys, and I will not share this story ever again, guys. This uh only this time, guys, and I will not do any video about this kind of story, guys. I just wanna share, guys, and spread the awareness, guys. So we will start now. So, guys, I'm a targeted individual, and I find out that I'm targeted individual since 2012, and right now I'm a full-time mom, and I know this kind of video is kind of sensitive, and at the same time apologize, guys, because I'm not fluent in English, but I'm trying my best to do a video about my targeted individual story, guys. And yeah, I just want to share, guys, because when I find out that I'm a targeted individual, guys, my life is there's a big changes of my life when I find out that I'm one of the targeted individual, and I had a 24/7 kind of synthetic telepathy, and but I'm still hoping that everything will be fine, and every day in my life I always think about it on when my targeted individual started, guys. But I just share to all of you guys, and if you're one of the targeted individual, guys, you know how's the feeling of being targeted individual. And yeah, every day is a kind of struggle for me to do everything, but I'm trying my best being a normal person, being a normal people. I will try my best, and yeah, I will not do any videos about it, guys. I just wanna share this one, guys, and I will not take it long, and I will not put lots of story on how I feeling when I'm what happened to me when I starting this targeted individual, guys. But when I watch some of your videos, some of
Now, listen, a common thread I've noticed within this targeted individual community, a lot of them are targeted individuals, but they don't know why. Like this girl, yeah, well, okay, she doesn't speak read English, yada yada, but why? Like this literally, she gives us no context, she gives us no reasoning, she just says synthetic telepathy, right? She's dead serious too, okay? Even in the comment section of her video, she is, okay? So we have this. So a lot of these people can't give you a rhyme or reason, but they are. And like I said, we're going to get into some other people who definitely give you rhyme or reason of why they are. But I'm starting to wonder if majority of these people, like, I don't know if they want to be in the club. I don't know what it is, if they really believe it or whatever. But this is an example of a lot of people can't give you rhyme or reason, which is very, very strange if you ask me. So let me show you the next person. Now the next person is a new person I found the other night, and I actually, like I said, I think he is adorable. And yeah, I just want to know what you think of this guy. All right, this is the circle, triangle, square man. Here we go. I'm going to mute myself. Circle, triangle, square. Here we go.
Hey guys, hope all is well with everyone. Early start to my day today, but I wanted to get this word out to you guys today. Okay, so enjoy some coffee with me this morning as or whatever time it is that you're watching this, as I deliver this message. Okay, so circle, triangle, square, or triangle, circle, square, or circle, triangle, square. However you want to say it, those shapes. Okay, those shapes are associated with the occult. Okay, satanic cult, demonic cult, whatever you want to call it. It is wickedness, pure wickedness. Okay, so the Squid Game, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it on Netflix. That Squid Game is real. Those things are real. Those games that they play, if you want to call them games, they are real, live. These things really happen. Okay, rooted in fear, rooted in money. People are dying over these satanic and cultish games around the world. Okay, so these are real, and they're broadcasting it right in front of our face, and we're watching it like it's entertainment. Those games are very real. There is nothing fake about those games. Okay, so I want you to know those circles. When you see those circles, triangle, square, it's associated directly with the occult. It's pure wickedness. Okay, so The Rock. I don't know the rest of you guys. If you guys know the wrestler, The Rock, he came out with a song and it's #1 on iTunes, whatever. But if you look at the product that he is sponsoring, is he's pushing, or that's sponsoring him too, whatever, however it goes. But the product that he is campaigning for, this energy drink, it has the circle, triangle, square on it. Okay, that is not by mistake. Okay, that is a cult. Why do you think he drops one song and it goes #1 on iTunes? Okay.
All right, so this guy here, right? The name of his video is Targeted Individuals and Gang Stalking, but he kind of veers off into the occult as far as music goes. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and say that I don't believe in that. I think there is definitely some shady stuff that goes on in the music industry. I've actually talked to Yvette about it, right? Because she's in the music industry, and she's told me some stories, and she's a very, very, very wise woman. I really like Yvette, and you know, I believe in some of that stuff. Do I believe in a lot of things this dude's saying? No, not so much. But he gets really I don't even know the word to believe, right? The symbolism thing ain't really that much of a surprise, but what he says kind of after is why I'm sharing it. Thank you, Kiki, by the way. I will go check that out, okay? Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And then we have Christy. Hi, Christy. I'm glad I catch you live to support you. I appreciate your discussions, but I'll keep my opinion to myself. All right, Christy. Thank you very much. No problem. Yeah, I depending on who I'm watching as far as a target individual, my opinion definitely changes. But thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. All right. Sherry says, I work with a woman who is one of these people. I didn't know until now that this was actually a thing. I'm mind blown right now. You work with someone. Wow. You're the second person that I've seen in my chat, anyways, that knows somebody that is a quote targeted individual, right? But like I said, the interesting part is they all categorize it as something kind of different. Like, this dude's talking about circle, triangle, square, triangle, circle, square. He's really cute though. But let's finish this up. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I know he's popular and famous, but they're all connected, guys. They're all connected. In the music industry, in itself is demonic. I work in the music industry. It is demonic. It is demonic. It is demonic, demonic, demonic. Okay, so and it's pushed by the Illuminati, the New World Order, and all that. All that wickedness dwells within it. Okay, so these circle, triangle, squares connected to pure wickedness. I have a PlayStation controller here. Square, triangle, circle. Why do you think that's on the controller? Okay, remember I told you that these TVs are connected to wickedness, okay, or connected to portals, demonic portals. That television you can bring spirits in through your television, your controller that you when you play these games, okay. And admittedly, my kids, they do play some games that I'm not fond of, and quite frankly I don't like. That's on me. I try to filter it. And watch over them as best I can. It's difficult. It's difficult because there's so much wickedness out here. The best thing I can tell you guys to do is to stay in prayer and be aware. Be aware what your kids are doing, what they're watching. There's a lot of times I kick my kids off of games. There's a lot of times I heard Satan talking right directly through the game that they were playing. My kids were unaware of it, but I stopped. Hey, turn off the airwaves right now. Turn off. And another thing, guys, if you're sleeping, thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm just going to talk about this. This is a little off topic, but if you guys are sleeping,
can I just say how cute it is that he literally just said, thank you, Holy Spirit, for because something came to his mind. Just, he's so cute. I can't even. Oh my God. All right, hold up. Let's just finish this video. Hold on.
with the TV on and there's some type of you fell asleep watching something that is ungodly, be careful of that. Don't sleep with your televisions on because these spirits can come through, guys. Trust me, what I'm telling you, I can hear them talk. I hear them talk. There's sometimes they talk directly to me as I'm going throughout my day. I'll hear them talking. I'll rebuke them in the name of Jesus. There's sometimes I'll loose fire on them, and then I'll hear them go, "Oh no!" Just the other day, just yesterday, I casted a witch or I casted a spirit from out of my closet, and the TV responded, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go." If you guys are paying attention, you guys will hear direct responses. If you guys, when I say pay attention, pay attention. Okay, so this controllers, triangle, circle, square, are connected to these demonic games. All the demonic games out there, you guys are letting those spirits in. Okay, so I want you to be aware of that. And remember The Rock. There's a lot of other celebrities that are involved with this cult like following. Okay, so there is also places. It is said to be that there's places. Well, there is in fact places that bear these symbols: the square, the triangle, and the circle. Around the world, certain caves, and there's certain places, and they're said to be demonic portals where demons can come in and out, and portal from there. Okay, and they'll be marked. Those caves will be marked with a circle, triangle, circle, or those spaces will be marked with circle, triangle, and square, guys. Okay, so they're demonic portals. Okay, I want to make sure the circle, the triangle, square, those three, okay? And they now I will say this too. This symbol here, I was walking by and I have to, I'm just cracking the egg on this, so I'm not gonna give you too much on this. But this letter Z on this T box that I have, God kind of pinged me on this. So I'm gonna do some more research on that and you know, pray about that letter Z. But I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the video because as I was walking by it, God nudged me to look at that. So I'm sure later on I'll be doing a video to tell you about that letter Z with the line going through it. Okay, so be careful that that Squid Game is a real life thing that's going on. Many people are dying. Many people are dying, rooted in fear, rooted in money. And they're broadcasting it on television. That's how I tell you how much wickedness is in this world. Okay, why you think it's so popular and it blew up all of a sudden? Where did it come from? The Squid Game. Where's all of a sudden where you know? And it just boom, 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 boom. Everywhere. You see those symbols everywhere now. Everywhere. Everybody's talking about the Squid Game and the little girl that turns around and shoots people. It's all wickedness and they're all connected. They promote themselves. Why do you think their music goes #1 in the day? Their videos go viral in the day. Everything they do blows up because it's wickedness and they're all together, guys. And it's all about manipulation of the masses, mind control, and getting you to believe what they want to believe, to do what they want you to do, and to go where you want them to go, and to serve the evil one, which is Satan. Okay? And many people are blind and many people are asleep. And I urge you on this message to get right with the Lord. I pray a hedge of protection over all you guys right now, including myself, in the name of Jesus, and protect us. Lord, I pray that you will protect us from this cult and these markings in the name of Jesus and anybody connected to it in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, guys, watch out for those symbols. When you see those symbols, circle, triangle, square, stay away from it or be alert, okay? And be alert. Okay. So I implore you guys to bring this message to the Lord. Okay. So remember, there is only one way, and that's through Jesus Christ.
I actually really like that guy. He actually has good music too. I have to link him after. He has a song called Voices in My Head, and it's actually a really good song. Like I clicked on it in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, but then I actually got into it. He drops a couple hot verses. I'm not even gonna lie. They're actually pretty good. I know Squid Games is on Netflix, but I don't know what it's about. Honestly, never ever watched it, but I'm interested to know. Anyways, I came across him the other day and I was like, listen, if we I understand, I believe in occult stuff. Now, this doesn't really relate to targeted individuals, but I wanted to show him nonetheless because I thought he was interesting character. And then if we start believing, though, that circles, triangles, and squares like have meaning, I mean, you see that everywhere. This all goes back to everything I say all the time, right? If you look hard enough, anything you look for will be there. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I can't really understand. Like, if they're making it what it's not kind of thing, you know. Yeah, Bossy, he's actually has a good song. Listen if you care enough, and I don't know, listen to his song Voices in My Head. It's actually really good. I kind of wanted to play it a little bit, but I was like, oh, I'll probably get struck, but it's just ironic. He's got a circle for a logo, you know what I mean? It's just, he's cool. But anyways, I liked him. I really did like him. He was I found him because he tagged it as targeted individuals and gang stalking. So that's how I came across it. But now let's see here. Give me 1 second. All right, this is a girl. All right, the next one I'm going to show you is actually the first person I started following like religiously. This girl is really intelligent, okay? Her name is Candy Grand Prix. She has a channel, right? And every single day almost she makes a video. I don't catch them all, but I definitely have seen my fair share of them. Now, Candy has a twin sister. Now, I've been asking the twin sister actually because I want to interview her. I really want to interview her twin sister because of the reason her twin sister is categorized by her as a perp. She calls her a perp, like a perpetrator. She thinks that she works for them, so she is on the other side of the sphere. So what you're about to meet is Candy. She is the targeted individual, right? And then she's got a twin sister named Brandy, who she points at and goes, "You work for them. You're targeting me. You're part of the reason why this is happening to me." And yeah, so this person I'm going to show you now is one of the strongest targeted individuals that I found anyways, and it's scary to me. And the reason why I'm talking about this is not only because it's interesting, right? Because like I said, eventually we will get into real documented cases. However, I wanted to show you how I got here. And this is what I've been diving into lately, right? Because this stuff really has happened before. Not going to say it's not. But what terrifies me, and part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this, is because of the paranoia of being perped, like every red car, every this, every that, this girl right here makes me nervous. And kind of the reason why I keep up to date with her, not only because I'm interested in what she's saying, but because I am scared that one of these days she's going to approach somebody that is not going to take well to her accusations, right? I mean, it's not cool. Like she really could hurt herself or somebody else, and that's concerning. You shouldn't be running up on people on the street and accusing them of X, Y, and Z. That's not okay, right? It's not okay at all. But here we go. We'll just get into this one, right? Exactly, Luna. I agree. And the frustrating part is, right? The really frustrating part is you can't tell them that. They immediately shut you down as out to get them. And that's the scary part of all of this targeted individual stuff, right? It's terrifying, actually. And majority of them, they will tell you that. They won't even listen to you. All right, so let's play Candy here. By the way, I'm going to link all these people after. Just be nice to them. I don't bother them, so just be nice to them. Not that I think you guys will be mean to them, but I'm just saying again, just be nice.
Hello. Yeah, I didn't introduce today. It's Monday, October 18th, 2021. It's 2:01 p.m. So I'm just gonna do this quick video right quick. So I'm feeling a little bit better, and I'm about to start work. So I'm about to start work, and I wanted to say, they've been they're gang stalking me, and they're trespassing on school property to gang stalk me. And they know that to protect the kids and stuff, I can't film them. So I'm just verbally documenting um, that every building that I walk into, they pull off out of their vehicles. They've been perping me heavy today. Very heavy. And even online with the electronic, me trying to get the truth videos put out, they've been trying to stop that too, trying to slow that down, because y'all know I'm telling the truth. So I just I had a good lunch today, and what happened just now, when I walked out of one school building, you know, and when I crossed to the next building, there was a white female in a raggedy silver car blaring loud music, and she had like on some red, and it's like she hurried up and drove off really fast, like she was waiting for me, blending in with the parents picking up the kids from school, and she had no kids in her car, and she was waiting for me, and then hurry up and drove off. This makes me so mad, and that I'm blocked from getting to have a car or drive or have my own, permanent place to live, family, children, anything to make me happy or be normal like anybody else. But here, I get criminalized for putting y'all on film and exposing and showing what y'all doing online and in person. I mean, and even earlier when I walked on the school campus, one car immediately pulled out and another car was pulling in at the same time, and then another car pulling out. So it makes me feel so defenseless that I'm supposed to just the fake TI perps want me to just walk around and just ignore and not say anything and try to intimidate and frighten me into silence. And y'all the main ones, the fake TI perps online. Y'all the main ones, telling me to ignore. And then y'all try to falsely accuse me of being fake and a scammer. A true targeted individual will see what I'm going through and they will see that I'm not trying to scam or get over on anybody. And Monique was one of the first people to suggest that I get a GoFundMe or get Cash App. I never heard of Cash App. I'm talking about Uniquely Made Warrior. Now she's following with the lie, running with everybody else saying, oh, Candy, she's a slanderer and a scammer and she's very greedy for food and stuff like that. But
So, like I said, this is Candy. I sometimes Candy says some really funny. She's got a good sense of humor when she isn't all like being paranoid and stuff. I feel really bad for her. Actually, last year when I found her, I actually donated because she was out in the rain, okay, for a couple days. She was living off in the woods somewhere, and she had no hotel, and like she was asking people for help, and she actually writes books too, and she sells them on Amazon. And I wish I had known that. I would have purchased one of her books because whatever. But it's really sad because hearing her stories, right? Hearing her stories throughout the past year, she talks about her twin sister. And I've always said to myself, gee, I wish I could hear her twin sister's version of events, right? Because, like I said, she thinks of her twin sister as like a horrible person who's out to get her and she's one of them and blah, blah, blah. Lo and behold, a couple weeks ago, her twin sister, came up in my feed. I think it's because she had put her name in it or something. It was very random. I ended up finding her twin sister, and her twin sister is basically just her. You know what I mean? She's like, sometimes she breaks down and says it, other times she's angry, but it's really sad to watch this relationship go back and forth, like between the actual quote targeted individual and the person that's quote perping them, when really they just love them, right? And even though she won't come out and say it, it's really hard to watch them go back and forth. And it's just a really big struggle, man. And I actually feel for both of them. I really do. And I would love to interview her twin sister to get a idea of what it's like being on the receiving end of all these accusations, right? She accuses her twin sister of like wanting to blood sacrifice her, of just all this stuff that, in my opinion, is obviously way too far-fetched. Way too far-fetched. Twin sister like Jesse, nope, this is a real one. This is a real one. Anyways, but yeah, Candy gets accused of being a scammer, etc. But she recently got a job. As you can see, she works at a school, which is good for her, but at the same time, it's kind of scary, right? Because you heard her. Like, there's children around. She's constantly nervous, paranoid, and it's just quite a mix of emotions when you watch these people, right? It's like you want to feel bad for them, but then they can be really nasty and accusatory, and then the list goes on, right? There's a million different facets to this community, right? And I especially feel for her sister. I really do. Her story was so much different than what, Candy had led everybody to believe, So I see, two of you so far in my chat have literally said, somebody like this, right? You do. And that's wild. I did not think that would happen. I'll tell you that much. Is Morgellons a mental disorder or physical ailment? What is that? Let me Google it real quick and see. Morgellons? I've never heard of that. Let's see. Self-diagnosed, scientifically unsubstantiated skin disorder in which individuals have sores that they believe that contain fibrous material. Oh my God, I've known somebody that did that. Okay, my ex-boyfriend had a father, and he would say that there was fishing line in his mouth, and like he went to all kinds of doctors everywhere, and they told him he had that. I've definitely heard of that before. He was dead convinced. They were like, look, there is no fishing line in your mouth. Like, and as far as anything else goes, he didn't seem like he had any issues or anything, right? Very strange. How long has AZ been on? I came on at 11. My headache went away. and I started a stream again. Earlier it was scheduled for 9, but I ended up changing it. Yep. So I'm gonna show you another thing here. Hold on. Okay. 1 second, you guys. All right, now this is oh, hold on, where'd it go? 1 second. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up a playlist. Give me 1 second. No, don't play it. I don't need a copyright strike. All right, here comes the car stopping gang stalker. And hold on.
Miserable assholes. And I almost feel ashamed of myself paying attention to these people. It's actually, I think that I'm better than that. I like to believe I'm better than that, paying attention to these people. I should feel ashamed of myself. These mentally disturbed people. That's something that I almost feel ashamed because I give them attention, but it's for the greater good. That's how I justify it. You got to prove that it exists, that this is real. These miserable assholes, because that's what these people are. They're miserable assholes, and they're projecting their misery onto us. Essentially, these miserable assholes, they don't have anything better to do with their lives. So this is what they do. Like they're completely miserable, they're angry, and this is just their outlet. And that's why, if you think about it, that's why they spend so much time. And even when you think about the government and what the government's involvement in it, the people who they recruit to do this, that's what they are. Like, I don't think that they just, I mean, technically, yeah, maybe a couple feds are involved, but I mean, reality is it's just the attitude of the people in general that I think kind of defines this operation. Okay, like the attitude in general. Like, somebody basically came up with the idea of doing this, and he recruited people who I'm pretty sure knew exactly what they were doing. The average person, paid or not, government agent or not, probably isn't going to consent to do something that they know is unethical unless they were miserable assholes. Like, I kind of feel like that would define it. Like these thugs, especially. Like these thugs have a chip on their shoulder, and I basically have to deal with it. They have a chip on their shoulder. I have to put up with their shit because they have a fucking.
Sorry, guys. I think that was the wrong one. My bad. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Here's what I was looking for. Okay. Now, what you're about to hear may be disturbing to some viewers. Okay? I'm warning you beforehand. Because this one's kind of difficult to hear. I'm not even going to lie. So don't say I didn't warn you. Okay? Hold on. I'm getting stuck here. Give me a second. Here we go. All right.
I will put this on YouTube, Rael and Brazil at Gmail. Then I got Nutter Butter, Juicy Bones at 337. Then I got Juicy Bones, Nutter Butter at Gmail. Then I have Rose and Brazil, AMBREZILE at Gmail, because of the targeting and the narcissistic program that the CEO and the DHS shelter member from Park Slope target me because they knew my father was molesting me. And then they had the Miss Carolyn Munn, the veteran, to come in to Facebook my family because they knew about this target individual program that they try to have us put in since we was 11 years old. But we didn't, because my grandma didn't want us living with no foster parent, because that bitch not our real fucking mother, period. So now I'm recording because I'm in well-organized crime by the detectives and the feds and the internal affairs and civilian board with the United Kingdom illegal immigrants. Like I said, the illegal immigrants. 2237 Dix Avenue, Far Rockaway, 11691, where his name is Sammy Ishmael, which is not his real name anyway. His real name is Stephen, or some shit like that. He came out of jail October 14, and he sent this nigga $500. $500 after he just came out of jail, leaving us broke, no money, having no money. And I'm trying to leave. I'm leaving New York. I'm gonna find Crime Stoppers, because Crime Stoppers is supposed to oversee all the white collar crimes, racketeering, labor trafficking through technology, cyber technology, porno, mind body connected to multiple players, and also I have an ID chip that targets and spies on me within my own eyes, on top of my eyes. I can feel it. And I can see white lights in my eyes. These people been torturing me and isolating me from my family and creating mad pain and sorrow within me, and have everybody, the MTA buses know about me, the MTA conductor staff know about me, all the way down to the MTA maintenance people know about me. They are using my mind for pornography, beating their dicks off, and then Instagram sending me videos of people beating their dicks and nothing on the fucking screen to me, right? So what I'm gonna do is leave New York to get me a manager to do what I want to do, because this is if they that thirsty, then this is what I should do so I could be free. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I like sex and I have not had sex, but I woken up pregnant twice in my own apartment at 1323 Lewis 9 3J. Then I woke up pregnant at 215 Sacman Street, C2. They using the distraction of selling crack cocaine for the distraction, but the real cause of the case is, because I'm so devastated. I've been looking for help all day, every day, and it's the police that's doing it. It's the judges that's doing it. It's the staff workers, the city workers. It's all these people that have been doing it. They isolate me and put a 5G supercomputer over my family, mind, body, and soul, to have them divided from me and separated all over the USA, living with the flying monkeys, the narcissistic flying smear campaign. Mind control is real, and they are targeting me and my family and I, because they are using pornography, sex technology. So I'm so devastated. I'm looking for help with Crime Stoppers. That's all I got.
Now listen, the reason why I bring this woman into the picture, right? This is so sad, you guys. The state of our country right now, when people are suffering from mental health issues, is so deteriorated. I'm not going to show you guys because, whatever. But this girl actually goes to the hospital. She gets put in ambulances. And literally, she tells the people the same things you were just hearing, literally. And they just send her on her way, right? Because nowadays, unless you say, like, oh, I'm going to hurt myself or someone else, then there's nothing they can really do, right? And it's just, It's really, 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 really crazy that this girl can go to the hospital talking about she has a microchip in here, there, everywhere, in her nipples, in her vajayjay, and wherever, and they're like, oh, okay, see you later, you know? It's really concerning, right? It's really concerning. It's terrifying, you know? Like, they're using, it's just, watching this girl go to the hospital and stuff, she leaves her phone, like, in her pocketbook. By the way, upon looking into her account further, I actually typed her name in on Google from her account, and it brought me to a Facebook page. And every single night, she Facebook lives herself sleeping because she's scared that somebody is going to come and impregnate her in the middle of the night, because it happened to her twice. Apparently, she's Mother Mary or something. I don't know. But this speaks to how deteriorated, what a bad state, what a horrible state, not even bad, what a horrible state our mental healthcare system is in, okay? If you can walk into a hospital, say all that stuff, and then get sent out on your way like no big deal, it's terrifying, right? It really is. Now, are there some people out there who may be really targeted individuals? I don't know, maybe. But Noelle, I saw your question about recapping, right? So I'm going to recap for those of you who are just joining us here. So talking about targeted individuals, right? And it's somebody who's been put under some kind of like watch list or program or conspiracy to get gain information from by, and they call it gang stalking, right? That's what they call what's being done to them, gang stalking, okay? Gang stalking has happened in the history books. It really has, but this type of gang stalking is, in my opinion, not related, okay? So a lot of these people are apparently mentally ill, and a lot of them are intelligent, and a lot of them are great people. They just literally are convinced that some ulterior motive is going on here, whether it be to remote control them, gain their thoughts, make them do things, put them in pain, put them in bad life circumstances for whatever reason. A lot of these people, I noticed a common theme with them, right, is they think that somebody they got into a disagreement with is always the one that put them in this quote program. Really strange, I know. But if you can walk into a hospital and say those things, there is something wrong in America. I'm sorry. That's one thing I learned mostly by watching this, right? Mostly. But I'm scared that one of these people that I follow, actually, besides the guy that was talking about witches in a closet, that guy, I'm not scared of him, but I haven't really ventured into his, content or whatever. But a lot of these people run up on people on the street. They do. And they'll be like, why are you perping me? Like, so this could go really wrong, right? And one of them, as you saw, works around children at a school, right? As bad as I feel for these people, that's kind of not okay, There's a lot of, and also we have to factor in too, you guys, with the beer virus and stuff has definitely had an effect on the overall mental health of a lot of people, right? And if you're already susceptible to paranoia or whatever it may be, and I'm sure that the last, year and a half has not gone so well for you, So that's why more and more, in my opinion, more and more of these people are popping up, and there's a lot of them. A lot. This target individual community is huge. Yes, amphetamines can cause this too, and that's a true story, Seven. One of my best friends in life, one of the greatest people I know, would do anything for anybody type of person, right? Goes to school for nursing. I mean, hasn't had a nice life, nothing bad. She's A1 individual. She got prescribed Adderall and abused her Adderall prescription, okay? And literally called me one day and said, why are you sending people to record me in the parking garage? I know it's you. I was like, what? What are you talking about? And come to find out, she later confessed that, she was abusing her Adderall. So yeah, that was just definitely crazy. So I know firsthand that can happen to people for sure. But yeah, and they pour their hearts out, and it's so real. Like, some of them sit there and cry, and you want to believe every word they're saying, but in the back of your head, this cannot be real life. You know what I mean? And it's sad that they actually believe it. Now, had our own government not done this targeted, programs in the past, and maybe these people wouldn't feel this way. But and later on in another stream, I'll dive into past programs where our own government has gang, quote unquote, gang stalk people. And I don't think it was to the extent of this. Like, a lot of them are convinced. And it brings me back to, yes, definitely schizophrenia. Brings me back to the Bill Gates thing. Do you guys remember the subgroup of people who thought that the vaccinations were going to have microchips in them and they were going to be able to follow every move we make? And I'm like, why would you want to follow me to the grocery store and back every day? I don't know. We're just average people. Why would they want to track us like that? And like I said, you'd be surprised how many people actually believe it. And I don't think not all of the microchip people, I think, could have possibly been schizophrenic, right? Like, what do you guys think it is? Do you think that people just love conspiracy theories so much that they're willing to believe it? I mean, besides the fact that some of these people are obviously mentally ill, like, that's an obvious given, right? Do you think that, especially when talking about the microchip people, do you think that they just like to feed into conspiracy? What do you guys think about that, right? I know we have our cell phones. Exactly. How? Cancel culture seems like gang stalking. Seven, I would have to agree with you. Look what they did to oh, I never did that stream either with Christ Conflict, when I wanted to talk about how Netflix and was getting it from hold on, I'm trying to read the comment and talk at the same. They distrust the government. Do you think most of that is our government's fault? Check out organic portals. It gets crazier. Organic portals? All right. I definitely will. I like this stuff. I really do. Yes, direct energy. Like, one of these women say they get hit with direct energy and it makes them crap their pants, and they do it on purpose to her, right? They do it on purpose. Why would somebody in the government make you want to crap your pants? It makes no sense to me, right? It really doesn't. Yeah, so it's funny that you say that. It sounds, that cancel culture sounds like targeted individual. Yo, it does. Dave Chappelle is a targeted individual. Stop punching down on my people, you guys. And if you're one of those people who think Dave Chappelle is wrong, maybe you haven't heard the whole story, right? Because from the surface level, if you were to read an article about Dave Chappelle and his, his transgender jokes, but you haven't watched it and heard for yourself, or maybe heard the Daphne story, then you probably don't know the whole story. So that's another problem with cancel culture. If you're going to tell a story, tell the whole story, not just a part of the story, right? I can't stand when people do that. Yup, you heard me right. Crap your pants. Yep. I know. Direct energy weapons. They hit me with their direct energy weapons again, then they'll film themselves running to the bathroom. Like, it's crazy. Literally. Exactly. Watch the special people, right? Yeah, Dave Chappelle definitely went through some stuff, I think, years ago. Now we're veering off into the Dave Chappelle, which is fine. I really don't care. Dave Chappelle told Oprah. Did he tell them Illuminati? I remember him telling Oprah some stuff that was very, like, questionable. I don't remember specifically what it was, but it sounds about right? Okay, so I'll read Steven's point here. So, our trans brothers and sisters are asking for our acceptance. Chappelle isn't helping, but he has a right to make his comedy, in my opinion. Well, you're definitely entitled to your opinion. All anyone can ask for is acceptance, right? And here's the thing, like, and I understand that the trans community, their whole point is, like, look, we're trying to get accepted and not looked down upon by you making fun and poking fun and making jokes. It's more likely that people will poke fun and make jokes, right? But I have to disagree with that. I can watch those jokes and know that I don't feel that way deep down inside in my heart, right? And we can't be responsible for how other people interpret art and things like that, you know? So as much as I understand their point, I just don't really agree with it. You know, like he makes fun of white people too. He makes fun of all people. It's not just like, you know, transgender people. It's all people, all the people. He don't discriminate. He discriminates against people in general, you know? So, yeah, I know I was supposed to have a stream about that and I just forget what. Oh, Brian Laundrie happened. That's what happened. But I get it. I definitely get it though. I just think they're taking it a little extreme. That's just my outlook, right? A lot of comedians nowadays are just like scared to tell jokes. They literally are scared to tell jokes. And I'm not even talking about Dave Chappelle right now. I'm talking about in general because of cancel culture, you know? Like, you know who's sold out? Like, what's his name? Seth Rogen. What's his name? Yeah, a lot of them have just like changed so completely. Like they not even funny anymore. Not saying that the only reason why Dave Chappelle's funny is because of that, but whoa, hi Illuminacy. Hello. Anyways, guys, did you see my community tab about the Brian Laundrie thing? About the his lawyer? Did you guys see that Ashley Banfield interview? Huh? Did ya? That was not even normal. I don't even know what to make of that stuff anymore. I really don't. Yep. There's nothing funnier than a woke joke. Nobody gets hurt and nobody laughs. You know what I'm saying? Hey TL, I see you sharing all this information, but I'm kind of missing it here. Are you sharing information about targeted individuals? Is that what's going on here? I see all these random facts coming through, but I'm not able to process them because the chat's moving kind of fast. The Brian Laundrie stuff has brought out the worst in a lot of people. T-Mac, that's an interesting comment. It really is. It's really interesting. You know what, Bossy? It's funny you say that because as soon as I hit the live button, I was like getting my thoughts in order, right? And I was like, dude, I didn't even X out. I didn't even remember to X out my brother's username on TikTok. So I have to put some kind of censor over it, right? Because like there's a lot of freaking crazy people who will have a problem with me and go bother my brother, and that'll be the MFing day that I let my little brother get attacked because somebody don't like me. So as much as I want to show it, I'm like a dummy and I didn't put a censor over his name, so I have to do that first, and I'm so sorry. But you know what? It's actually a really short video. I'll probably just release it by itself alone after this, you know. Anyways, now I'm done talking about that because the next chapter will be times when gang stalking was real life years ago. But if you guys want to talk about the question I asked in my community tab real quick, I'm down because that really bugs me out. Not gonna lie, I don't know what to make of that interview, not even a little bit. It makes me listen. I said this last night, right? I really don't want to venture too far into conspiracy land with the Gabby Petito thing. I really don't. But the way things are going, it's like Plurific says, did you hear they examined fecal matter from the laundry crime scene? Found out it's Balderino's BS. I really like that joke. That's hilarious. Federal agency name Air Force Research Laboratory. I'm sorry, TL. Basic energy bio. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, TL? I'm a little lost. Can you give us more like substance as to what exactly you're talking about? TL, I'm a little confused. TL, would you like to come on panel and tell me what you're talking about? You have a lot to say. Maybe you can teach us something. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. You're more than welcome to talk if you'd like. Let me know. You seem very knowledgeable. You're like a little Google machine over there, just spitting out random statistical facts. 404 not found. Direct energy research on human beings. Okay. So you talk about like the direct energy weapon stuff? Okay. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to talk about it another time? We can. I know, you're kind of like, yeah, more than welcome to share your thoughts on it, but I think you're just copy and pasting random facts and everybody's kind of confused, As much as I appreciate you trying to share your knowledge, I really do, but I think we're all getting kind of lost with the random things that... Anyways, let me know if you'd like to talk someday. We could talk about it, Yeah, he's definitely copy and pasting, I know. He, she, I'm sorry, I don't want to assume your gender. But anyways, so what was I gonna say? All right, so hold on. Let me read my community tab because I want to know. This is driving me crazy, you guys. Like I was saying. Okay, what was I saying? I was saying that as much as I don't want to dive into conspiracy land too far with the laundry stuff, right? I really don't. Okay, I don't want to disrespect, the investigation and this, that, and the other thing, right? But this is getting really, really weird, you guys. Can we all agree on that at least? Am I the only one that thinks this is really, really sketch? Huh? Am I? Or, goat yoga? Yes, I have. I have done goat yoga. It's really weird. The goats didn't really come near us too much when I did it though. But I've seen photos of everybody. I've seen a lot of photos of goats on people's like backs and stuff. Goat yoga. I love yoga, by the way. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. I absolutely love it. But anyways, let me read my community tab. I want to know what you guys think, okay? I really do. I really need other brains to help me process this. Or maybe I'm missing something, because Lord knows I miss a lot of things, okay? I really do. So, actually, you know what? In order for me to even talk about this, I kind of have to, has everybody here, mostly everybody here, seen the Ashley Banfield interview that I'm even talking about in this thing? Let me show you what the thumbnail looks like. This really hurt my brain. It really did. Have you guys seen this interview? It's from last night, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it's from... Nope, the 20... Yeah, last night, yep. No, yes, no, yes. He was extra, but I did agree with him on one point, right? Remember how he was saying, he was going, Ashley, Josh Taylor literally said, I'm not sure, like, or I don't know. And Josh Taylor really did say that. Like, that was kind of frustrating, because I understand her wanting to drag the truth out of him. Like, I can respect that. But there were certain points where I'm like, yeah, he really did say that. Plus, it's freaking Josh Taylor. It's Josh Taylor. We all know how I feel about him. And I think you guys kind of understand that, because you maybe feel the same way. Josh Taylor is an idiot. So why on earth was he willing to do interviews on national TV knowing he wouldn't answer questions at the same trip himself up? He did get tripped up. He did. And here's the questions I have, right? Because I have questions about this for sure. All right. In this interview, let me give you the rundown, okay? Bertolino says Brian had been missing since Monday. Remember how initially it was Tuesday and they changed it to Monday, okay? Right? He also says he mentioned it to the FBI the day after Brian never came back. So he told the FBI early in the week, he said, look, Brian left, he never came back. Okay? So somebody tell me why the entire week the Northport police were out there saying, yeah, we know where Brian is. We know. Why? Okay, were they lying to us because they had some kind of strategy that we don't understand yet? Were they left out of the loop by the FBI? It doesn't make any sense. The more that goes on in this case, the more confusing this truly gets. Oh my God, Bugsy. You might have missed it last night. I can't remember if you were there or not. I had a stream late last night where I was like, oh my God. Brian Enton told us that he knew, he showed them actually hidden cameras. There were hidden cameras around that were set up before Brian ever took off. So somebody tell me why. How did this happen? How? They had cameras set up in the neighbor's backyard. There were 3 of them at least that I think they found anyways, right? And did you guys know this? The other day, the electrical company, I think, the quote-unquote electrical company, went to the laundry's house wanting to access their back pole in their yard or something, and they said no. Now I'm starting to wonder, like, oh, was it really the freaking and like I said, I don't want to venture off. The FBI never really does make public statements, so maybe Bertolino is lying, knowing the FBI won't correct him. I thought about that, but Illuminacy says, do the FBI ever make public statements about cases they are working on? Does anyone know? Not unless it's to say, yes, it is Brian Laundrie that passed away, we found dead, yep, or something like that. You know what I mean? But why would the FBI let the Northport Police Department run around and be like, yeah, we know what Brian is? There had to have been some kind of strategy. But more and more people, and not even just like average YouTubers like me, right? There are like straight up professionals who are saying something's not right here. There was some kind of deal or something. Cameras failed people. Yeah, that's what Brian Enton said. He's like, did the dude watching it just fall asleep? It's a silly question, but it's like real life. What happened there? It could be something and nothing. Yeah, the family obviously definitely was not in a good place. I don't blame them for turning him away, but after hearing about the camera thing, it makes me kind of wonder, you know? Poodlerific says, why did they think cameras would be effective policing? They didn't even know when he left or followed him. No, the cameras were there before he left. That's what Brian Enton told us last night, right? Brian, this is 2 of 2. Hold on, I missed your first one. Bossy, hold on. All right, Bossy says, I have a new theory. What if Brian admitted to his parents about Gabby, but not Cassie? So the parents decided to get the family together for one last camping trip. Don't you think Cassie would have picked up on something, maybe? I don't know. I guess I never really pondered that too much. The second part of your thing is, then Brian was supposed to go camping on his own for a couple days to get his head together before he turned himself in, but he didn't come back. Psh, that's a possibility, I guess. But listen, all right, if I'm Bertolino and I'm out here and I'm watching the Northport police for an entire 5 days or so say, yeah, we know where Brian is, but we really didn't know where Brian was, wouldn't you correct that? Wouldn't you take to Twitter to be Bertolino and be like, not sure why the Northport Police Department is saying they know where Brian is, because I already told the FBI he's been gone since freaking Monday. Why didn't he correct it? So many whys. What? The protesters should be arrested for behavior likely to cause breach of the peace. They have no right to be there. The laundries are not government. They have no right to know what happened. Well, they're on a public easement, and they do have a right. If you want to believe in the right for the laundries to remain silent, then you have to believe in the right of protest, right, Aunt Frida? You can't pick and choose the rights. If we're going to believe in the rights, we got to believe in all of them. Not saying I agree with it, because I don't. I don't think anybody should be out there protesting right now. Absolutely not. But you can't go down there and arresting people if they're following the noise, time limit, whatever you want to call it. So I don't think there's a law governing, like, because the laundries aren't a government, then nobody can protest. Is there, guys? I mean, I don't know everything, so I'm asking. But I doubt it. He wasn't charged with a crime then, though, right? They probably couldn't do much then. Well, I'm guessing if they set the cameras up, then that means they wanted to know his movements. And if they wanted to know his movements, and they went through all the effort of setting the cameras up, then why didn't they follow him? Do you know what I mean? This doesn't make sense. Yeah, they had cameras at a neighbor. Yeah, the garbage dumpster. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people say that about the family, right? They might be sad and emotional. Maybe we don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, we got to remember, I know a lot of people say that, and I understand why, but, like, we don't see the Laundrie family, you know? We don't see them. They stay in their house. They're not going to come out and cry. They know the world dislikes them right now. Yeah. How would they know Brian was distraught even before Gabby's body was found? Okay, so apparently, Seven, the other night, Stephen Bertolino told the world on an interview, he said that when Brian left, he was grieving. When he left to go for his hike, the last time he left his house, he actually used the word grieving. And everybody was like, oh my God, he's grieving. Like, he already knew, you know what I mean? So, I mean, since then, the lawyer has been like, well, I didn't exactly mean it the way you're taking it, but I think that he kind of messed up and whatever, and said that. Yeah, I wonder about Cassie right now. I wonder if the parents are allowed to talk to her, you know, because I know Stephen Bertolino doesn't want them to talk to her, but I mean, freaking her brother just died, or she found out he was dead, rather. Like, you'd think they'd be talking by now. I'm like way behind the chat, I think. Exactly, Bugsy. That's the way I look at it. Why were they not following him if they were surveilling him? Isn't surveillance following? That's what I thought. I mean, I could be wrong, though. I don't know all the laws, right? And Frida, as much as I agree that they should not be screaming that, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're breaking any laws by screaming. You know, if people could get arrested for screaming nasty stuff, there'd be all kinds of people in jail. You know what I mean? But I hear you, man. It's not nice to say that stuff. It's definitely not. I don't know how any human being with a heart could yell that outside of somebody's house when knowing they just lost their kid, and more than that, knowing that you don't even know what they know. It's like, okay, even if we got confirmation, like, yup, the Laundries knew everything, they even helped, I still could never, like, yell something like that at parents. Like, I don't know, it's messed up in my head, but I don't know, it's messed up. No, but that is harassment and beyond people's right to freedom of speech. So I'm literally asking here because I really don't know. So yelling that nasty statement, your son's burning in hell, is that harassment? I mean, where do you draw the line with that? I'm literally curious. I really am. I don't know. Where do you draw the line with that stuff, you know? And who that's actually a really good question. Where do you draw, where's the line between protesting and harassment, right? The stuff they were saying wrong on every level. I think so too. I think it was terribly mean. I don't know how anybody could say that, especially not knowing what they know. You don't even know what they know. We could find out tomorrow that they were freaking clueless. Then how would you feel? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Their whole, like, spiel is, well, they didn't answer the phone and they should have did this and should have did that. Like, I get it, but you still don't know what they knew, you know? So, I don't know. Okay. So if it's harassment, right? Where's the line for it? because they're saying the word hell or because they're saying mean things? Who decides on what is mean and what's not? Where's the line? Where's the line, you know? Where is it? Knocking on doors, deliveries of food. Yes, it is a group of people knocking on doors, deliveries of food. It's the neighborhood, and I heard that the neighbors haven't really complained that much, but I don't know how true that is, right? They knock on doors? I thought they just yell outside the house. I didn't know that. I'm just wondering, like, if they're out there screaming these horrible things, right? And it is harassment. Well, I mean, why hasn't anybody told them not to do that or something? Are they still there as of like tonight? Are they still there? It's freaking horrible. Well, that's a fabulous point if I ever heard one, VP. 6 months ago, burning down cities wasn't a line, so you know, ain't that some shit? I guess you're right. True. Yeah, the neighbors are getting paid thousands of dollars for the media to be there, so I'm sure there aren't many complaints when they're getting. Well, how much were they getting again? I forget exactly what it was, but it was a lot of money, right? Oh, I know. I agree, Tamara. I really do. Saying you're going to hell is not right when you just found out your son was dead. I agree. They're deliberately provoking people in a way that could result in violence. It's breach of the peace that is not covered by your right to protest. So you say they're inciting violence by yelling your son's going to hell? I mean, I don't know. I don't make the rules. I don't know. But I'm just wondering if that's the case, and why hasn't anybody told them to go home and get off, go away or something? Maybe they have. I don't know. I haven't kept up. Those people who are renting out their friggin' front lawns, they're probably like milking it for all it's worth, collecting money, and they're probably going to move off that street when all this shit's over. I would. Yep. I know. Listen, I've, like I said, I've watched 1,000,005 First Amendment auditing videos. I know the whole, I'm on a public easement, I'm exercising my rights. You know how many videos like that I've seen, and how many times, I can't tell you how many times I've seen the police show up to circumstances like that and not be able to do anything. But then again, they weren't like, I don't remember particularly what people were yelling, but I doubt it was something at parents about a son that just died, I don't know. It was more like aggravating people because they could kind of thing. That's why I say, where do you draw the line, Well, Bossy, do you think that the parents, I'm sure they've complained. I know that the lawyer has, right? No. Good point, Bugsy. I don't think it's helping Gabby's family either to be reminded of Brian. Well, they're probably thinking of it like, well, now he's dead, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Because for a while, we were hoping that he would get held accountable. Boundaries are citizens, not the government. Your Constitution and amendments give you the right protections against the government, not the right to say whatever. Okay. I don't think that's true. I think that anybody could protest out on a public sidewalk. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that, yeah, they can. Like, I know you feel strongly about it, but I didn't write the Constitution. I mean, that's freedom of speech. I'm talking about, protesting and stuff. I don't know. Let's look it up. I mean, oh, you live in East Boston? No way. AZ, I live in East Boston. The police would see a big-ass group ass whooping and keep driving by. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? That is so true. They literally would. Yep. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to look up something real quick about protesting. Protesters' rights, okay. Okay. All right, well, I found I'll share it on the screen. I found it's a blog anyways that I'll read real quick. It looks like pretty interesting. I don't know how accurate it is, but we'll find out. It's called Know Your Rights, Protester Rights. Let's see what it says. All right, so for those of you who can't see it, I'll read it for you. The First Amendment protects your right to assemble and express your views through protest. However, police and other government officials are allowed to place certain narrow restrictions on the exercise of speech rights. Make sure you're prepared by brushing up on these rights before you head out into the streets, okay? All right. Your rights. Your rights are strongest in what are known as traditional public forums, such as streets, sidewalks, parks. You also likely to have the right to speak out on other public property like plazas in front of government buildings, as long as you're not blocking access to the government building or interfering with purposes, okay? Private property owners can set rules for speech on their property. Okay? Private property owners can set rules for speech on their property. The government may not restrict your speech if it is taking place on your own property or without the consent of the property owner. Okay. Police are permitted to keep antagonistic groups separated, but should allow them to be within sight and sound of one another. When you are lawfully present in any public space, you have the right to photograph anything in plain sight. Oh my God, ain't that? Let me tell you, when I did the First Amendment auditing, when I followed that with Kate from Asshole Report, you know what these people would say? If my eyes can see it, then I can film it. Because people would be like, "Yo, don't! I don't want to be on your I don't want to be on your video, or don't take a picture of me." And they'd be like, if my eyes can see it, then I can film it. That was their whole thing. And now I know why they say that, because it's literally right here, I guess. All right, you're saying they're not protesting peacefully. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking for something that pertains to that. Hold on. So you don't need a permit to be on the street or sidewalks as long as you don't obstruct pedestrian traffic, okay? All right, so I get what you're saying, and Frida, like, this is for peaceful. Well, I mean, like I said, where's the line for peaceful? It's an invisible line. That's the problem, right? That's why we can't really get a direct answer here, because there's no clear line. Let me see if I can find a better write-up. Let me type in unpeaceful protest. Oops, just to meet you halfway here. Let's see. Nonviolent resistance. Is that what it would be? Let's see. I've never even heard of this. This is kind of interesting. Nonviolent resistance is the practice of achieving goals such as social change through symbolic protests. Oh, wow. If you feel something needs to change, such as the current condition of the resisting person or group, that sounds more like it, huh? They're trying to change the existing person or group's idea, I guess. Civil disobedience. Maybe that's what you mean. Nonviolent resistance is largely but wrongly taken as civil disobedience. That's something different. All right, let's see. I really want this answer. I really do. All right, maybe that word is unpeaceful is not doing me any favors. Maybe harassment protest. Let's see. Maybe that'll work better. Now it's all about sexual harassment walkouts, of course. Let's type in annoying protesters. Ooh, they're trying to pass something, I guess. Boris Johnson moves to make a new law banning protests that are noisy or cause an annoyance. And that's actually a brand new thing they're trying to pass. Protests are sometimes noisy, sometimes they are annoying, but they are fundamental to our democracy. Yeah, that's in UK. I don't know. I wish I knew the answer of where the line is. That's all I'm trying to say. It really sucks to see anybody go through that, you know? It really does. But I'm pretty sure they're within their rights. I mean, but I don't know the Constitution that well. So, Abigail, you know, his lawyer was asked that very question if Brian had access to a gun, and he said he didn't know the answer to it. But however, we have seen photos of Brian's bedroom, and there were apparently, according to these photos, you know, there was a gun hanging on the wall. So, and then we've heard stories that his father and him were definitely into guns. So, as far as I know, that's all we really know. Oh, okay. Stacy says, in Florida, many Florida protest laws are vague and open to interpretation. So it would be up to law enforcement to decide if they think it's illegal. That sounds like a very good answer. Thank you, Stacy. I'm not saying we agree with it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I don't make the rules. It is what it is, okay? Yeah, that makes sense. So the police would be the ones to decide if it's crossing the line or not. That sounds like a really logical answer. Thank you. Are we not being respectful to each other? I'm behind in the chat because I was looking for answers online. So I don't know what's going on. Police knew about it, allowed it, were sometimes standing near to make sure it stayed peaceful. I think as long as they weren't throwing rocks at the house. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, I think a lot of people are really in shock by the things they're saying, but I don't think it makes it illegal, in my opinion, right? Like, I think that Aunt Frida's trying to say, like, they're trying to incite some kind of violence, but I think that's arguable, you know? The time that protesters have taken up law enforcement's time is ridiculous. Yeah, I'd say. And then, know what else is ridiculous? Want to know what else is ridiculous, though? The fact that, was it like 38 days went by and we use every possible resource to search the Carlton Reserve when it only took his parents less than an hour to find what they were looking for? That's kind of messed up too, right? What laws does Florida have on disturbing the peace and breach of peace? I don't know. Do you know, Aunt Frida? Let us know. You know, I understand you're passionate about this, but it doesn't mean that it's the law, you know? There's moral and then there's legal. And there's, just is what it is. Morally, it's wrong, but legally, it doesn't appear to be wrong. Maybe Stacy, she's the Google master. Maybe she can find that answer. She's like freaking Google. She's like Google. It was covered in water. That's the problem. Police haven't cited people there. Police haven't cited people there. I was really surprised, T-Mac, that remember that Friday where it all started, like the day that Brian was reported missing, and the day that things got really crazy and outside the laundry house, like that day when they were letting the protesters on the lawn. That was weird. That was really weird. I was like, why are there so many police there, and why are they not telling the people to get off their lawn? Like, I thought that was really strange, right? I really did. When they were done doing their business inside, then they told them to get off. But for the whole, I think it was like 2 hours that the police were in there, they were just letting people run amok, right, on the lawn. And I thought that was very strange. I did. She's our IT Google expert, for real. A public easement. I'm standing on a public easement. That's what every single First Amendment order ever has said. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for it all, 7. I hate when people walk on my lawn. It annoys me. Oh, you know what I don't like? I don't like when people let their dogs crap at the end of my lawn because I have to mow the lawn and then I step in the dog crap. There's a lady who lives 2 houses down from me who, good night, Noelle. There's a lady who lives 2 houses down from me that has a pit bull, and she walks her dog like by my house, like, I don't know, 3-4 times a day at least, and the dog just shits in my yard, and I can't tell you how many times I've stepped in it. That makes me mad. Anyways, before I end this, and I know it's getting late, but I think I want to watch that part of the interview that I was talking about with this dude right here one more time, just to get a better understanding with Bertolino. If you've seen it already, I apologize. I understand if you want to go. I get it, but I want to hear what this dude says one more time, because none of this makes sense to me. Get off my lawn, you damn kids. I know, right? What's that actor's name? He comes out and he's like, get off my lawn. What's his name? I know one of you in chat is going to tell me. He's like a badass older actor. Yo, what about Baldwin? Guys, we didn't even talk about that. Freaking Stephen Baldwin shot somebody, dude. That's crazy. That is crazy. Good night. Clint Eastwood. Thank you, Bugsy. Good night to everybody who is going. Yes, Clint Eastwood. Is it Alec? Okay. What did I say, Stephen? It's funny, after I said it, I'm like, there's so many Baldwins. There's so many. I know, Amber, right? I did, Amber. I saw the letter that Molly posted. She read a supposedly last letter that Brian wrote, right? I don't know how I feel about that, because the way I look at it is this, right? If somebody had gotten their hands on that letter, I mean, first of all, how would they? Because everything is so like under lock and key right now, you would think anyways. But why would they send it to Molly Golightly? And furthermore, when I listened to it and read it, right, I was like, they hit all the key points. Like they wrote Moab. It was like a timeline of events that was kind of too, I don't know the word I'm looking for. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying there's no way it can be Brian's, but I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Especially this early in the game, I highly doubt somebody. They just said yesterday that the notebook is still drying out. Like, they literally just said it's still drying out. So how Molly got some kind of letter, I will never know, but kind of weird. All right, so let me bring up that thing real quick. I keep saying I'm going to, but I keep stopping because, you know, sidetrack Sally. She said, Molly said somebody texted it to her, I think, or DM'd it to her. She said, I think she even said she don't know the person. But okay, whatever. Everybody was hitting me up like, are you gonna show the letter? I'm like, no, not until I get some kind of confirmation that it's like halfway truthful, because anybody could write that letter, you know. I mean, there's a small probability maybe it could have been written by him, but considering they just said the notebook's drying out, I doubt it.
Cannot reveal those privileged So you didn't speak with Brian or Roberta or Chris between September 1st, when he arrived back in Florida, and September 11th, 10 days later?
I can tell you I didn't say that. What I can tell you is any conversations I had with Brian, Chris, and Roberta would be privileged and confidential. What you asked me was, when did I become involved for this particular case, and it was on September 11th.
So then presumably before September 11th, if you had conversations with them, say September 1st to September 11th, those 10 days, those would not be privileged because you hadn't been retained as counsel?
Well, that's not true either, because I've been the Laundrie family attorney for well over 20 years. So any conversations I have with them with respect to legal matters would be privileged and confidential.
So when Brian came home to Northport on the 1st, as is evidenced by a card reader, a license plate reader, seeing the white van coming home, how did you have your first engagement with the family? Was it a family meeting? Was it a conference call? Like, how did you first connect with them after he had returned?
Again, any conversation I've had with Chris, Roberta, and Brian, was by telephone. But the dates and what we discussed are all attorney-client privileged and confidential. And I'm sorry to say that I can't speak about those things.
Counselor, I fully understand that you cannot reveal those privileged engagements, the content within. I'm just sort of going around the contours of it, if you'd allow me to. And that is that I'm just curious about, because you're, as I understand it, I'm talking to you in Long Island, correct?
That's correct.
And the Laundries have always been in Northport.
No, they haven't always been in Northport. They lived on Long Island for many years. I don't know exactly how many years they've moved down to Florida.
Sure.
But,
understand. I just mean for the purpose of this particular engagement, say from September 1st on, you did not go to Northport to engage with them. You really had to do this from afar.
That's correct. Everything has been, by telephone, text message, or how should we say, FaceTime.
Or sort of these group Zooms. Did you have like the family, group FaceTime or the group Zoom like this?
No, we didn't. We didn't do something like that.
Conference calls?
We've had a couple of conference calls, yes.
And when you had the conference calls, I mean, I'm just thinking of myself as a mother. And if my son were, engaging with our attorney, it would be difficult. And I was curious about how Mrs. Laundrie's reactions were, how she was digesting. And again, you don't have to tell me what you were discussing. I understand that's privilege. But just the reaction, the nature, and the sort of taking all of the information in real time. How did she manage that?
Ashley, I don't want to give you an interview where I can't answer any of your questions, but it seems like most of the questions you're asking are going to border on the attorney-client confidentiality that I can't answer. If you're asking me, in general, what has been, Roberta Laundrie's demeanor and disposition over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I can tell you she's been very upset. She's again been distraught, and in the last couple of days she's grieving.
Fully understand. And again, I'm not going to press you on what was said. I'm again trying to go around the outside as best I can to get the color, the essence, and the feel of what the family was going through in those early days between September 1st and September 11th, when Gabby Petito was declared missing. And even thereafter, up until the 13th, when Brian himself left for the hike and didn't come back. I guess all I'm trying to get a feel for is that the family meeting with you were can I put it this way? When you had the family meeting with them via electronics, was it a happy occasion?
Often I tell people as an attorney, I often don't get to deal with them on happy occasions. So, you're using a term happy that I would never use. What I can tell you is every conversation's been serious. Every conversation that I've had, as any attorney would have with their client, doesn't necessarily border on happy. And I don't mean to beat you up on the use of that word, But what I can tell you is I'm not at liberty to discuss anything prior to September 11th. You know, you can ask me many different ways, but I'm going to keep giving you the same answer. You know, all of that is going to be attorney-client privilege. Anything after
Without
September
divulging,
11th,
sure, without divulging anything they said, were they at least all three of them, you know, able to engage with you and fill you in on their perspectives of anything that you were discussing?
on September 12th and September 13th, yes, absolutely.
All three of them could fill you in on how things were going within the household. Your discussion as a group was, you know, was full and rich, and you could get a feel for what was happening in that household through your conversation with the three of them.
I had private conversations with Brian. I had private conversations with Chris, and I had private conversations with Chris and Roberta separately. I can tell you that, you know, yeah, I had an understanding of you know, how the house was functioning at that point in time.
But you didn't have the family together, the family unit together to find out how they were coping as a unit.
There were a couple of conversations where, you know, all, you know, three members of the family in that household were together. Yes.
Okay. So presumably, and what days were those conversations? Because it's, you know, the mood and the change in what happened in the dynamic of that family is important. What days did you have those conversations where you knew how all three of them were feeling at the same time?
I would say Sunday the 12th and Monday the 13th.
So those are critical days. Can you tell me the demeanor of Brian Laundrie on the 12th and on the 13th? And when I ask you about demeanor, I'd like to try to get specific. Did he seem suicidal?
No. And I literally just spoke to the family, Chris and Roberta, maybe 45 minutes ago. And, you know, we repeated this conversation or that question. And, you know, Brian was not, you know, outwardly suicidal. And what Mrs. Laundrie, what Roberta just said to me, she goes, you know, how do you really know, you know, what do you really know what somebody's thinking? And, you know, we can suspect what their mood might be, but what do you really know what's going on inside? And I can tell you that, you know, Brian was alert. He was coherent. You know, when he was speaking with me, I had no inclination or indication that he would hurt himself.
I have heard you say on other interviews just in the last 24 hours that he was grieving. And anyone who is grieving is sad over death. Was he sad over the death of Gabby Petito when he was grieving prior to going out on his hike, from which he did not return?
And Ashley, as I've said, you know, all day long, because I know I've been getting heat on the use of that word. Yesterday was a very long day. The day before that was a long day. One of the last interviews I gave of the evening, which was a last minute thing, I used the word grieving, which I had been using all day long with respect to Chris and Roberta and the news of the death of their son. I clarified that. I said he was upset. He was distressed. Chris described him to me as he was leaving. And this was several weeks later when Chris and I were talking about it. He said, Steve, you know, he was upset. He was distressed. I knew I shouldn't let him walk out the door, but I couldn't stop him. You know, I used the term grieving. It was probably a poor choice of words, and everybody has pounced on that and said, well, what was he grieving? Who was he grieving? You know, grieving was, you know, used by myself multiple times yesterday with respect to Chris and Roberta, and it was a poor choice of words to be using for Brian.
So did Brian know that Gabby was dead at that point?
I can't answer that question. You know what Brian knew or didn't know would be privileged. It would be confidential, and you know, certainly not something I can discuss now.
And respectfully, Counselor, I understand your privilege, but as a journalist, I do have to ask: did Brian kill Gabby?
You know, that's it's a tough question to answer. Other than no, to my knowledge, you know, I can't say that he did or didn't. I'm sure the FBI may be able to fill those answers in at a different time.
Do Chris and Roberta Laundrie know if their son killed Gabby?
I can't comment on that either. I mean, what Brian told, you know, when I say I can't comment, you know, you're asking me what the parents knew, what their son told them. I do not know.
You have mentioned in other interviews that there will be time as we move ahead in this story for more questions to be answered, perhaps more secrets to be revealed. Clearly, there's no exposure for the youngest member of the family that you represent. He is no longer. He can no longer be tried for anything, even posthumously. So there's zero exposure other than legacy for Brian Laundrie. For that reason, how long will it be until you can actually tell us these things?
As I said, there are some unanswered questions. There are some issues that need to be resolved. There are, charges out there still in Wyoming. There are certain things that I even discussed with the FBI today with respect to Chris and Roberta that still have to be resolved. There's been a lot of accusations. There's been a lot of finger pointing. And, those issues will be resolved in the coming days, weeks, or months, however long it takes. This is just wrapping up in the last 48 to 72 hours, and we're going to need some more time to work through this.
Mr. Bertolino, what do you expect is going to be found in the notebook? Because the Northport police are saying that it is indeed salvageable.
I have no idea what's in the notebook. To my knowledge, the notebook was something that was maybe on the trip. I've heard many different things about this notebook. I don't know if Brian wrote a suicide note or if he wrote a goodbye note. I don't know if it was just the notebook that contained drawings. We'll have to wait and see what's in there.
Mr. Bertolino, is it possible we might see a confession in that notebook?
Again, Ashley, I don't know what's in the notebook. The FBI may disclose what they find in there. They may not.
You are one of the last 3 people who spoke with him prior to him leaving with that notebook and a backpack and a dry bag. Based on his demeanor, and I'm not asking you to reveal what he said, based on his demeanor, would it surprise you if there were a confession in that notebook?
After the way this case is played out, I don't think anything would surprise me. At this point, even the fact that the Laundries, Chris and Roberta, are the ones who happen to find the items and the location of the remains, everybody seems to be suspect on that. There have been so many twists and turns in this saga. I don't think anything would surprise me.
Do I take that as a no? It would not surprise you if there were a confession in that notebook?
I'll stick by my original comment, which is, nothing's going to surprise me in this case.
You may be bolstered to know that the Northport police back up this notion that Chris and Roberta simply stumbled upon the dry bag and the notebook within about a 30 to 45-minute walk, whereby the authorities and millions of dollars of the highest tech equipment could do nothing of the sort in 38 days. For the public, it's confounding, and you have to respect just how the magnitude of the coincidence. The Northport police is saying it's also coincidental. But do you know any other information that would prove otherwise, that it is not coincidental?
Literally before this interview, I was on the phone with somebody who, has more information about that than I do. The cameraman that was there that filmed this, I have thanked the police for being there. I have thanked the cameraman for being there. And yeah, I do understand that the public says this is confounding. It's unbelievable. But everybody who's been there and everybody who has firsthand knowledge comes back and says the same thing. This is the beginning of the beginning of the preserve. This is where Brian was known to hike. If he went into that preserve and did something to hurt himself, and maybe he did it right away, it would be expected that he would be found there. So, as coincidental as you say it is, it really is not such a far stretch to say that if Brian did in fact go to the preserve to hurt himself, and he did it right away, it makes perfect sense that that's where it is. The park was underwater. I'm sorry?
Sorry to interrupt. Do you know if he took any kind of medications out with him in the backpack or in the dry bag that might have contained any sort of substances that would have helped him in a quest to commit suicide?
I have no knowledge of any substances whatsoever, either prescribed or otherwise.
Do you have any knowledge of the contents of the dry bag or the backpack?
Not at all. And, to my understanding, the parents, Chris and Roberta, didn't know what was in the backpack, when Brian left the house. I believe we were asked that question on September 17th. And, Chris and Roberta said they didn't know what he put in the backpack. He just, had the backpack packed and said, I'm going out for a hike.
To that end, I want to talk a little bit about the timing of all of it, because the press sort of, felt a little yanked around, as did the police, with the timing of when, Brian went on his hike. Originally, it was Tuesday the 14th, and then late into this whole ordeal, it became Monday. I heard you speak on Chris Cuomo's program the other day, suggesting that you, in fact, were the person to call the FBI and notify them the next day after he didn't return, which would be Tuesday, correct?
So it is correct that I notified the FBI, and, you'll have to forgive me because the days were blending together. And, I spoke to the FBI just today on that issue again. And, the FBI confirmed it is well documented on their side that it was Thursday. And, I was reminded that I specifically said, Brian didn't come home, tonight. Would you come home, having all the press and everything else going on out there? The confusion initially was Chris and Roberta were telling me it was Tuesday, and Tuesday night Chris went out to look for him. It was Wednesday that Chris and Roberta went to look and hiked a little bit in the preserve, and it was Thursday that they retrieved the car. We then received some information from press that indicated that they had video of the car in the driveway on Wednesday. So we had to go back with Chris and Roberta step by step of each day. They had been in their home every day. The days were blending together. It was very stressful. And when we went through the period and I showed them the video clip of the Mustang on I believe it was the 15th in the driveway, Chris said to me, well, then it had to be Monday. And I went back to the FBI, and the FBI said, yes, we believed it was Monday from the beginning. But we do understand that the days were blending together. So as I said,
this is my problem, that the days blending together, and I only interrupt because I'm a mother of boys. And if my son had unexpectedly come home from a trip without his fiance, stopped talking, refused to speak to police, she's reported missing. He is, in your, as you said, mistaken characterization, grieving. I mean, that tells me that he is apoplectically sad. As you mischaracterized it as grieving, it is at the very least horrifically sad. And he walks out my door and doesn't come home. I do not forget that date. That date is etched in my mind as a mother, and I dare say that my children's father would feel exactly the same way. So I struggle with any mistake about.
Sorry about that long intermission, guys. My neighbors were outside fighting, and I was kind of being nosy for a minute. I was getting worried because the dude was going nuts, yelling crazy. Anyways, Kristen Price, thank you for becoming a member. And do you guys, is anybody in this chat buying the fact, and don't be afraid to tell me if you do, I really want to know. Does anybody buy the fact that they got their days screwed up? I'm sorry, like, that just doesn't, I just don't buy that. I don't. But I also can't think of what the entire point would be behind them lying about the day that Brian took off. I mean, I don't know. I can't, no matter what way I try to slice it in my head, I can't buy the fact that they mixed those days up. It just does not make sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't. All right. And yes, we will definitely get a Leon emoji. That's a great idea. I'm surprised I haven't even thought of that. I need to redo my emojis, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. He's on a PR tour. I know, he is. He certainly is. Anyways, this is when this interview starts to get really interesting for those of you who haven't seen it. If you have seen it, I'm sorry. I mean, but I really don't understand this whole thought process behind it, right?
What day my extremely distraught son went out on a hike and didn't come home.
And that may be true, for everyone. But I would also tend to bet that you haven't been in the position that the laundries have been put in the last 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. And in that week in particular, they were in the house every day. They were going through it. I was relying on the communication they had, but there was no doubt in my mind that I was the one that called the FBI. And, I've had multiple conversations with the FBI, initially. And I even said to the FBI, I said, I know I told you that the night of or the morning after. So I was even hedging my comments because I didn't know in which conversation I had informed them. Was it the night of or was it the morning after? And ultimately, in conjunction with the FBI, we all agreed that it was Monday the 13th. The proof is in the pudding, if you will. In this case, the reporter showed me that the vehicle was in the driveway on the 15th. The FBI was, saying from the beginning of our conversations with them that it was the 13th. So when we put the sequence of events together, it was the 13th, 14th, and 15th.
And our Brian Enton asked Josh Taylor of the Northport Police about all of this timeline, and specifically your contention that you notified the FBI that Brian was missing the day after he didn't come home. And I'm just going to ask our control room to play what the Northport Police said today about that to Brian Enton. It was Josh on Brian being reported missing. It's not a flattering depiction of you, and they're flat out saying it's not true. So let me just play this moment for you, and I get you to comment on the other side.
Mr. Bertolino says that he called and reported Brian missing sooner than Friday, and that it was just the official report filed on Friday. Is that true?
I can tell you that the Northport Police Department, that when we got the call on Friday that he was being reported missing, was news to us. I was in the room myself. It was a very surprising moment. I can say that with 100% certainty. Whatever he may have said in passing, this is a situation where we're trying to, they were uncooperative on Saturday, not revealing any details. We've got a missing young lady. Really, their credibility was, what's going on there. If I'm understanding him correctly, he says that he may have said something to someone in the FBI. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. What I know is that none of our actions and what we've said show that that's a possibility at all.
So, Mr. Bertolino, they say the police and the FBI have been in lockstep all the way through this, and that they would have known had you reported it to the FBI. How do you respond?
So, Ashley, what I just heard, if you listen closely, is that the Northport police gentleman, Josh Taylor, I believe. I don't want to get his name wrong. Is it Mr. Taylor?
Correct.
Okay. So what Mr. Taylor just said was that I purportedly reported it to the FBI. He doesn't know.
Now, don't come for me, but Josh Taylor did say that, okay? He really did say, well I don't know, but then again, Josh Taylor's freaking Josh Taylor, and he drives me nuts because he sucks. I can't even believe they let this guy still go out there and talk, because he's literally the worst. Why, guys? Why would they wait 5 days, first of all? And furthermore, right? If you're the laundry's lawyer and you're watching the Northport police go out before the public and say, yeah, we know where Brian is, but he's been gone since Monday and you haven't seen him since, why don't you correct that with the public? Why? I just can't wrap my head around that. Like, okay, the FBI knew and the FBI didn't tell Northport police. Like, why would they not? And this is where the conspiracy people come in. Why wouldn't the FBI tell the Northport police that? Were they making some kind of deal? Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue playing.
And therein is your answer. He does not know. I can tell you that the FBI does not have a problem with this. Today at 2 p.m., 2:15, I had a meeting with two representatives from the FBI in my office, and they once again concurred and confirmed there is absolutely no doubt that I informed the FBI that Brian didn't come home on day one. Let me tell you something else, Ashley, before you interrupt me again. I did not call anybody on Friday. I heard Mr. Taylor's press conference on Thursday. On Thursday, Mr. Taylor said, when asked a question, do you know where Brian is? He said yes. He was asked a question a little bit later in that same presser, do you know exactly where he is? He said yes. I was shocked. I immediately called my clients and said, do you know where Brian is? Because I don't, we haven't seen him. Was he picked up? Because if he was picked up by the PD, they would have to inform me. And they said no. At that point, I got I'll disclose this. I reached out to somebody in the afternoon and I got an ethical opinion as an attorney for Brian Laundrie as a missing person, perhaps. What could I do? Once I received that ethical advice, if you will, decisions were made between me and Chris and Roberta. With that knowledge, Friday came. Friday evening, somewhere around 4:45, I received the call from the FBI. Let me be perfectly clear, unequivocally. I received the call from the FBI. I did not call them. It came up on the screen in my truck. I told my daughter she needed to leave the truck. The FBI said to me, we got a tip that Brian was seen in Tampa. And I said, that's wonderful, because as you know, we haven't seen him all week. We told you he was missing. And the FBI agent said, yes, we know that, but we want to come to the house to see if he's there. And I said, well, who gave you the tip? Who said this? Because I thought it was a ruse for the FBI to get into the house, was my belief. I then said to my daughter that I need to take care of this. And I told the FBI that I needed to take care of something with my daughter. We agreed on a time for 6:15. At 6:15, the FBI came to the Laundrie residence on the 17th. They came inside, we had discussions. I was here in New York and on FaceTime with them. We agreed.
Sorry, I know you guys want to hear this, so I had to pause this right here, right? Like, so the FBI hit him up and was like, okay, we got news he's in Tampa. Where the heck did that come from? First of all, I do remember hearing that, but so random. They wanted to go in the house, right? Kind of crazy. The next part here, I need you guys' help with, because he starts to say, and the reason why I'm telling you ahead of time, so you listen closely. He starts to say, someone from the house got the report number. Like, I don't understand what he means by that. Let me know if you do, because I'm a little lost on it. I'm going to be honest with you, but all right, here we go.
That the best course of action and the formal procedural course of action would be to file a missing persons report so that Brian could be located officially, so that they could put the resources into locating him. Somewhere along the line, perhaps someone from the Laundrie family household, and it wasn't Chris and Roberta, must have got the paperwork, called it in, got some.
They must have got the paperwork and called it in. Like, what does he mean by that, guys? What does he mean by that? I listened to this a couple times and I don't know what he means by that. What am I missing here? I don't know. I'm confused.
Kind of case number, whatever they did, I don't know. But that's how it played out. And the FBI.
Was that Cassie?
Excuse me?
Was that Cassie who did that?
Cassie was not in the household at all. There was Chris, Roberta, there was a representative, there was two representatives, I believe, from Northport PD. There was a representative from the FBI and myself on FaceTime. For 2.5 hours, we gave the FBI all the information we had with respect to Brian. The FBI has never had an issue with this. And if you listen closely to that clip that you just played, you will hear Josh Taylor say, Mr. Bertolino or the attorney may have told the FBI. I don't know. And here's the issue. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, nobody from the FBI called me and said, have you seen Brian? On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I did not reach out to the FBI and say, we haven't seen Brian. Because quite frankly, we didn't think he was, quote, missing. He went out for a hike. Brian had packed a bag. He routinely went for hikes for days. And it wasn't thought of that he was missing until Wednesday or Thursday. We started wondering, what do we do? And then Thursday, the events unfolded I just told you about. And then Friday, the events turned around with the FBI coming to the home. That's how it played out.
And so you're, just to be clear on this, because it's not, you talked to the FBI and said Brian hasn't returned on Tuesday?
No, I didn't say that. I said,
Wednesday?
No, I didn't say that either. I said on.
The weird part is he did say a little bit ago, the day after Brian, when he didn't come home, I mentioned it to the FBI. He literally says that. And now he's saying he didn't say that. Like, so weird, right? I don't know. He literally said the day after I mentioned it to the FBI. But now he's saying he didn't say that. So what?
On Monday, when I reported to the FBI that Brian didn't return home, the next time...
Wait, hold it. Monday, he went on the walk.
That's correct. And he never returned home.
And you're saying Monday night? You made a reference to him not returning home, or was it the next day you told the FBI?
What I said to you was that I had multiple conversations with the FBI during, Monday and Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I did not recall whether I mentioned it to the FBI on Monday night or Tuesday morning. The FBI confirmed with me that their records reflected that it was Monday night.
So you were talking to the FBI on Sunday, even before he went for the walk. And you were talking to them on Monday before he went for the walk. And you talked to them on Monday after he went for the walk?
Okay, Ashley, you're bringing multiple issues together. I'm
trying to get clarity, that's all.
Bertolino, you're bringing multiple issues together. You're the one who just went through the whole list of the entire week. Like, on this day we did this and this day. So she's trying to clarify it, and he's like, well, you're just gonna mush everything together. He's being such a lawyer right now, right? Now remember, he said the day after, when Brian didn't go home, that's when he told the FBI. Now he's saying, no, I don't understand. But Ashley goes in on him, man. It's kind of intense. Like, it really is. I understand his argument because, like, again, Josh Taylor did say, I don't think that happened, but he could have, maybe, I don't know, and that's the problem. Josh Taylor's the freaking problem here, I swear.
Just details matter on this one.
They do. On Saturday evening into Sunday morning, at 11:30 p.m. on Saturday night, I got the first phone call regarding this matter. At 1:30 in the morning on Sunday was the first phone call from the FBI on this matter. At 8 a.m. on Sunday was the next phone call from the FBI on this matter. It was a different agent. It was on the initial introduction, if you will, of this case. On Monday, 2 FBI agents came to my office to introduce themselves and to discuss this case. On Monday evening, and or in my recollection, Tuesday morning, I reported to the FBI in a normal conversation that Brian didn't return. Upon going back and forth with the FBI on the actual conversation in which that was reported, the FBI confirms that it was Monday the 13th that their records reflect that I told them that Brian didn't come home that night.
Okay, Monday the 13th, he told the FBI Brian didn't come home, okay? So why was the Northport police left out of the loop? Or were they not out of the loop? Was there a reason why the Northport police said they knew where he was when really they didn't? Or did the FBI not tell the Northport police? Because this doesn't make sense, you guys. Something is not right here. Whose fault it is exactly, I'm not completely sure. But this does not make any sense. It doesn't. And listen, this is word salad and a half. I had to listen to this like, I think I listened to just this part right here, right? About 3 times because I was like, it was so many dates and times and everything. I had to listen to it 3 times. I'm telling you. It literally makes no sense. I don't understand why Northport did what they did. Maybe we're not meant to understand why Northport told us they knew where he was when we didn't. But why would you lie like that? And why would you have cameras up but not see him go? I don't know. This gets more and more just ridiculous and confusing, and now I know why. And you know what? People keep saying, when is it going to stop? When are the conspiracies going to stop? You know what? It's not going to stop until we get answers. That's when it will stop, you know? That's when. Because the way that this dude is handling this, the way that everybody is handling it, it's not even just Bertolino, right? You wonder why. Things have gone so out of left field, right? It's like, oh, we think this is suspicious. Then another thing happens that makes no freaking sense.
On
So
Tuesday,
now that I have that up,
now hold on.
I was just going to say,
want clarity.
Yep.
On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there was zero communication with respect to where is Brian between me and the FBI and myself.
it's all just surprising because Josh Taylor said today they were in lockstep with the FBI all the way along. Even the Northport police chief tweeted out, get us an interview with your
Ashley,
client on the following Wednesday.
No,
that's what they told us today. That's what they told us today.
Play the clip you just played, and let's listen again where he says, I do not know. Because that's what he says, Ashley.
I'm telling you, they told our Brian Enton today in a whole, it's a 15-minute interview, sir. It's a 15-minute interview, and they said that they've been operating in lockstep with the FBI all the way along.
Okay, play the clip you played a moment ago, and let's listen to him say, I don't know.
You know what? We're going to wrap that clip up.
Ashley.
We absolutely 100%. That's why you're here. 100%. And we're going to rack that clip up. It takes a minute or so. I'm going to go to break, get the control room to do it. And after the break, we'll play it and we'll get the clarity on that. Is that okay, Mr. Bertolino?
That's fine with me.
Okay, we'll see you in just a few minutes. We are back with Stephen Bertolino, the attorney for the Laundrie family. And Mr. Bertolino, the clip that we played is a full minute long, but the person who actually conducted the interview is Brian Enton. And he has the full characterization of what the Northport police told him for 15 minutes during that interview. So I'd like to turn it over to Brian Enton for a moment to tell you exactly what they told him. Brian, Mr. Bertolino's on with the two of us.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, Mr. Bertolino. I've been in touch with Mr. Bertolino for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Basically, Josh Taylor with Northport Police has said that the way he has phrased it, that they are at the same table, sitting at the same table every day as the FBI, sharing information, constant communication with each other. And I was thinking back to that week when the police chief had that press conference. On that Thursday, the police chief said that he knew where Brian Laundrie was. But it wasn't just that Thursday. Almost every day when I interviewed Josh Taylor, I would ask him, do you know where Brian Laundrie is? And he would say, yes, we know where he is. So I was just listening to your conversation between the two of you. And it's just those interviews we did, and not just us, but many outlets were doing them with the police. They were on TV every night. And it's just hard to imagine that the FBI was also watching this and had this information from Mr. Bertolino, but wasn't sharing it with Northport PD.
And Frida, I like that you're a feisty little thing. I really do. I moved it because it was covering people's faces in general. And I forgot to take it off. Usually I flash it and I don't leave it there. I'm eating Cheez-Its and drinking soda right now, Okay.
Good evening, Brian. How are you?
Good. Nice to hear your voice, Mr. Bertolino.
Pleasure. I wasn't sure if it was my turn. And Brian, I concur. It would be hard to believe that, right? So 2 days ago, I had a conversation with somebody in the Northport PD to clear the air on this one as well. And I offered to put myself on speaker so that brass could hear it, so that the upper echelons could hear it, that I wasn't trying to, quote, put the Northport PD under the bus when I brought this up. They told me in no uncertain terms that they had no idea that the FBI knew about this. They were completely shocked on Friday to learn that Brian wasn't in the house. So Brian, everything you say makes sense. Absolutely everything you say makes sense. But I will tell you, it is not my responsibility to communicate between the FBI and Northport PD. I can tell you once again, as sure as I'm sitting here talking on this screen, the FBI confirmed in my office again today at 2:15, this is a non-issue for them. They have it documented that Brian was reported missing by me to them on Monday evening. My recollection was it was either Monday evening conversation or a Tuesday morning conversation, but I know that I reported it on day one. That being said, Ashley, you told me you would replay that clip. What you chose to do was bring Brian Enton in. I would ask you respectfully, let's play the clip. Let's hear, not from Brian, let's hear from Josh Taylor once again. I can spare the minute. Let's play it.
Well,
we've
had 40 with you, but the control room is about to play it. So control room, fire away. Let's roll.
I don't know. Let's listen to
Mr. Bertolino says that he called and reported Brian missing sooner than Friday, and that it was just the official report filed on Friday. Is that true?
I can tell you that the Northport Police Department, that when we got the call on Friday that he was being reported missing, was news to us. I was in the room myself. It was a very surprising moment. I can say that with 100% certainty. Whatever he may have said in passing, this is a situation where we're trying to, they were uncooperative on Saturday, not revealing any details. We've got a missing young lady. Really, their credibility was, what's going on there. If I'm understanding him correctly, he says that he may have said something to someone in the FBI. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. What I know is that none of our actions and what we've said show that that's a possibility at all.
Do you see what they said? Nothing that they say says that it's a possibility at all. I mean, did you hear that last line, Mr. Bertolino? Nothing that we've seen says that's a possibility at all.
What he said was, he said, I don't know. That's what he said.
I mean, to be fair, he really did say that. And he is Josh Taylor. Like, News Now Nation should know that Josh Taylor is freaking Josh Taylor and whatever. But it still doesn't answer our question as to why they were not working in quote unquote lockstep, like Ashley Banfield says, right? At lockstep. No, I know. She said lockstep, meaning yes, and that's exactly what Josh Taylor said. They've been working together. Everyone knows because they've reminded us 900 times how much they've been working together, right? Just the other day, Josh Taylor went out in front of the FBI and reminded everybody how closely they've been working with the FBI. That's why she's saying lockstep. Do you know what I mean? Did the words lockstep leave his mouth? Answer no. But that's what she means by that. Do you know what I mean? But I understand. Because Josh Taylor did say, I don't know. But why wouldn't he know if they've been working so closely? I don't get it.
Ashley, I'll take
No, he said it's not a possibility at all.
No, he didn't say that. Not with
Brian Enton, did he say? Yeah, I think we should get Brian Enton, and he conducted the interview. He sent us the tape. We've now played it twice. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I just had a quick question for Mr. Bertolino that I was thinking about. I mean, if he was at home watching the news all week and hearing the police say that they had eyes on Brian, and the Laundries were watching the news or were hearing from Mr. Bertolino that the police were saying that, but if they were worried about Brian and he was missing and, they wanted him to be found, like, wouldn't you want to correct the record so that people would actually be looking for Brian?
Thank you, Brian Enton, for putting that so simply. Why did you let between Monday and Friday go without ever correcting the record? Basically, thank you for breaking that down. That's really, when he ever said that, I'm like, thank God. That's really all we need to know, right? Why would you do that? Let's hear his answer here.
So, Brian, we're not going to get to the bottom of this. You know, I'll get past the fact that Ashley won't concede that.
What do you guys think of that answer, huh? What do you think of that answer, huh? Why did you let 5 days go by and not say nothing? Well, Ashley just said, like, you know, that Josh Taylor didn't say what I said he said. Like, come on, man. Like, this is what drives me nuts about lawyers. Like, I understand they got to do what they got to do, but flip a desk, you know?
That what was said out of Josh Taylor's own mouth was that I may have said it in passing and that he does not know. Let's move past that because the tape speaks for itself. What I will tell you, Brian, is we were not, at that moment, we were not concerned that Brian, you know, had hurt himself or wasn't coming.
Ans Frieda, yes. She said lockstep, meaning she is just another lying press hack trying to drum up a story. He did not say that. I go by facts and evidence, not feelies. Okay, then why don't you understand that people can protest on the corner of out in a public easement? You know? Just saying. In lockstep means they were working hand in hand. How many times have we been reminded that they work hand in hand? You know? You're literally thinking of this too literal, just like how you left a comment on my last video that said, tone deaf. Have you ever heard Bertolino sing? No, it was a figure of speech. Just like in this circumstance, it's a figure of speech. You know? Okay? Okay.
Coming home. You know, Chris and Roberta had indicated to me that Brian had gone out camping and hiking for multiple days, many, many times. He was a young man. They weren't concerned. They thought he was clearing the air, clearing his mind. It wasn't until we got the call on Friday that there was a tip he was seen in Tampa that we were concerned.
Then why did you report it to the FBI, Mr. Bertolino? If they thought he needed to clear his mind and he's an avid hiker and camper, why were you calling or talking to them on Monday night or Tuesday morning saying, yikes, he hasn't come home? Why is it an issue?
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley. So let's
Why would you
that,
report
okay?
it to the FBI if he didn't come home, if he just needed to clear his mind?
Lose the word report. I was having conversations with the FBI a couple of times a day on those few days. What I said to you was, in my conversation with the FBI, either Monday night or Tuesday morning, I mentioned to the FBI that, by the way, Brian didn't come home. As part of that conversation, I was reminded today from the FBI. He said, yes, I remember distinctly because you said to me, would you come home with all those press in front of your house? My contact with the FBI specifically reminded me of that.
I want to keep you over the break. I'm losing commercial breaks, and it's a machine I can't stop. But I do want to ask you after the break about the Northport police saying that they lost him, that they just screwed up and they didn't see him leave to the reserve, which, you know, ended up with a dead man in the reserve. I want to get your reaction.
I really wish they kept pressing that question. Why didn't you correct the record for 5 days? You know? Clearly he's not going to answer it, obviously, but I would have liked to ask him one more time. But T-Mac, he's done that a couple times, right? Like, well, let me think of an example. Okay, put it this way. He's missing, right? He's been gone since Monday. You told the FBI, and you know you told the FBI on Monday, but you're watching the press say, oh, we know where he is. Like, if you've already told the FBI, why wouldn't you just correct it? Like, if you're telling me that Brian's parents didn't get concerned until Friday, he left in a grieving state of mind and they didn't get, I don't know, it just, something's not right with that time thing. But he later on, he says, and I get from a lawyer standpoint, he says, it's not my job to communicate. It's not my job to make sure that Northport Police and the FBI are communicating, right? Which is true. It's true. But when your client was gone, you should have like said something. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, maybe it makes sense to some of you. You know, I'm just still trying to figure all this out. So, you know, not a lot makes sense.
Action to that. We're back with Stephen P. Bertolino and Brian Enton after the break. All right, Mr. Bertolino, quick question. The police said that they lost your client. There was surveillance on him, and when he went off to the reserve, they didn't even notice the Mustang leaving. Does that mean that Brian Laundrie is dead because the police lost him, or is Brian Laundrie dead because Brian Laundrie did it to himself?
You know, Ashley, you can't blame the police. You can't blame the FBI. You can't blame the parents. I've had people blaming me for the last couple of weeks and specifically the last couple of days. You know, bottom line is we don't know the manner or cause of death of Brian. We can surmise, but let's take an hypothetical and say that Brian did, you know, take his own life. If that's the case, you know, that's on Brian. It's not on the parents. It's not on the FBI. It's not on the police. It's not on me. And I think we need to wait and find out exactly what happened. The parents don't blame the police. You shouldn't blame the police. And that's just wrong.
I have to squeeze in another break, and I have one final question for you. We've blown every break out in the show, so if you'll permit me, right after the break, I'll be back with our final question with Stephen P. Bertolino. Back with Mr. Bertolino, the Laundrie's lawyer. Stephen, there's a critical question here. I have 2 minutes left until the end of the show, but I must get you on the record on this. You told me at the beginning of the show that you spoke with the Laundrie family together on the 12th and the 13th of September. That's Sunday and Monday, and he went for his walk on the Monday. But if you spoke with all three of them together, there is no privilege. And you know that as a lawyer. So what did Brian say about what happened to Gabby Petito on that Sunday and that Monday before he left for the swamp?
Okay, so Ashley, if you heard what I said, I had multiple conversations with the Laundries. I had private conversations with Chris, private conversations with Brian, and I had conversations with Chris and Roberta, and I had conversations with them together. You know, I know these people. Some of parts of the conversations when they were all together had nothing to do with attorney-client privilege. And
when you were together, what did he tell you? Because there's no privilege when you're all together talking. And you did say on this program that you did have conversations both days with them all together as a family meeting. What did they tell you? Because that isn't privileged.
I disagree. I think, you know, you can represent multiple clients, as you know. You can get waivers of representation, as you know.
No, you can't. You can't have that conversation in criminal proceedings, and that does mean that the privilege is waived. You can do it in real estate. And, you know, gosh, will you come back on Monday? I have 22 seconds left until the black cutoff of this program happens. But I have not finished my conversation with you, Mr. Bertolino. Would you come back Monday?
I don't think that's possible. Someone else wants me on Monday.
Has to be.
I don't know why.
I'm calling you Monday, Mr. Bertolino. Thank you for spending the hour with us.
Have a good evening.
Shoot, I just knocked the camera over. So, you know, I mean, I know that Bertolino lovers out there probably like so annoying and just asking the same question over and over. That's what reporters do until we get an answer, and we're not really getting completely direct answers, and it's incredibly frustrating, right? It really is. It shouldn't be this hard, you know? But I don't know. What do you guys think of that, huh? I didn't even see, you know what I didn't see? Is the Chris Como interview that they were referring to. I don't think I've seen that one yet, but, you know, a lot of these are all the same. Although I did catch a portion of the Popcorn Planet earlier today, and they were talking about how, I think it was on MSN. Yeah, Bertolino went on MSN, and he was asked questions about, you know, cutting a deal or whatever. And I guess, like, his responses were very delayed and stuff, and the Popcorn Planet guy was like, oh, they cut a deal, or but I don't know how accurate that is. And they were using like body language to kind of break it down, but yeah. Yeah, he definitely was he was tap dancing. He was definitely tap dancing. He was ice-capading right by those questions, you know? What are we talking about? Tone deaf now? Hold on, what is going on here? Let me go back up in the chat and see what I missed. I'm over here wolfing down Cheez-Its trying to pay attention. I'm like, I'm starving. I'm like having a snack break here. Let's see. I'm probably going to end this in a minute, but I just want to catch up on what's happening here. Oh, are you not in America? It's Frida. I didn't know that. Is that why you didn't understand my well, not that you didn't understand, maybe you took my title too literal. Yes, tone deaf normally means that like you can't sing good and you don't have a tune. I understand that. I wasn't talking about Bertolino singing though on my title. I can assure you of that. I've definitely never heard Stevie Bertolino sing before. You're absolutely right. I was just meant it as he can't read the room like we were talking about yesterday, right? I have to get coffee. Coffee. What time is it where you are? Oh my God. I'm over here drinking Coca-Cola though. That's why I'm still awake probably. I'm all caffeinated up. Okay, it's 1:36 a.m. Oh my God. What are you guys still doing awake out there? I have goldfish, Eric, but those are my daughters for snack for school. I actually like Cheez-Its better. You know what I like to do, guys? I like to take the fire sauce from Taco Bell. The fire sauce from Taco Bell and put it on my Cheez-Its. It's like my favorite thing to do. It's like one of my favorite snacks. I'm telling you. Anyways, don't tell anybody though. It's kind of weird. Anyways, I'm not sure how we got here to, they do make spicy Cheez-Its though, but it's just not the same. 6:36 a.m. Oh my God. And you've been awake for the last, 2.5 hours with us? Oh boy. 10:30 p.m. where Caitlin is. Oh wow. I've never had the pepper jack Cheez-Its, honestly. I've always considered getting them, but I'm like, I don't know if that's a risk I'm willing to take. With my Cheez-Its. Pepperoni and cream cheese. Oh yeah. You know what I like? That sounds good actually. Pepperoni and cream cheese. I would definitely try that, not gonna lie. Pepperoncinis. I love pepperoncinis. They're my favorite. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll just go to the fridge and get like a pepperoncini. And I just love the burn. I love spicy stuff, you guys. I'm a big fan. Big fan of spicy stuff. I like to dip my Cheez-Its in a smoky sharp cheddar. That sounds good. That sounds good, Sherman. You know what I got the other day? I was at the grocery store. You ever go to the grocery store and you're like, I want something different. I'm so sick of the same things. Like I was like aimlessly walking around and you know what I got? And I haven't even cracked it open yet. I freaking forgot all about it till just now. I got pretzels in like some spicy honey mustard, like in the mustard area. It was like a spicy honey mustard and I got pretzels and I was like, yeah, this will smash together good. I haven't tried it yet though. Ooh, the jalapeno cream cheese. I've had that. Grape detailed jelly on Ritz Crackit. Oh, jalapeno cream cheese and grape jelly? Ooh, that sounds interesting. Wow, I've never even... I might try that sometime. Thanks, Kim. That actually sounds pretty good. I like pasty white elbows. You like the people's elbow, Rick Crude? I know you're a wrestler. Or you appear to look like a wrestler. I don't know. What's up, Rick Crude? Rick Crude, you missed it. I was talking about First Amendment auditors a little bit earlier. About how they go, I'm on a public easement. I can protest here. Okay, and Frida says, I just hate liars and twisters, and news reporters do it a lot. They do. They definitely do. The mainstream media is very, 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 very manipulative. I agree. I don't like the lawyer, but the Florida cop never said what the interviewer claimed. He said, if you change the words, you change the meaning. Yeah, they were both kind of right in that argument. They really were, if you think about it. I understand what Ashley was saying, and I definitely understand what Bertolino was saying as far as Josh Taylor goes. Like, I get both their sides, right? I definitely do. Ooh, any jelly works. Okay, because I have strawberry jelly. That's a great idea. I'm so happy to hear that, like, idea. Tamara Borenson. Love your channel and live chats. Thank you, Tamara. It's nice of you. Appreciate that. I do too. I'm just happy that you guys are up late here with me. I didn't think I never bother coming on late because I'm like, I'm the only person that stays up this late. Nobody's gonna talk to me. But I'm surprised. Maybe we'll do late night Saturday streams or something. First Amendment fraud it is. Yeah. They're definitely First Amendment fraud it is. Yep. Fraud it is. For sure. Red pepper jelly on jack cheese is awesome. You put your jelly on your cheese? Oh boy, now we're getting in deep. Spicy maple syrup? What? Did you get that at like a regular grocery store? Or did you have to like get that somewhere special? I've never seen that before. Oh, you like that I'm on late, Luna? Luna the moon. Luna the moon likes that I'm on late. Go figure. Anyways, I like honey mustard stuff too, spicy honey mustard. Now I'm thinking about that, but I've already like put my face in like a half a box of Cheez-Its just sitting here. It's gross. I'm just so salty. I'm so thirsty. There's a pound in soda. It's so unhealthy, right? But I have been eating a lot of healthy stuff lately, so in my mind, I'm justifying it. You know, I've been eating a lot of spinach salads. I like spinach. Fresh spinach. My daughter likes fresh spinach too, which is completely shocking because she's 5. She still won't eat broccoli though. Ooh, okay, this is different. A spoonful of peanut butter dipped in powdered sugar. That actually sounds pretty good. You know what's good too? And this sounds crazy. People, my friend had me try it one time and it sounded ridiculous, but it was really good. She would put the some peanut butter in the microwave and melt it a little bit and then pour it on her popcorn. And it's messy. Don't get me wrong. It's not fun to like, it was at Walmart. Stina, I'll have to look for that. Thank you. But melted peanut butter on popcorn is actually really good. Ooh, McDonald's honey mustard? Nah, T-Mac. No. Wendy's honey mustard. What are you talking about? McDonald's honey mustard is garbage. In my opinion. McDonald's honey mustard is garbage. I love Wendy's honey mustard. You know, I haven't, to be honest with you though, I haven't tried McDonald's honey mustard in a long time. Because last time I did it, I definitely didn't like it. But yeah, I'm telling you, melted peanut butter on popcorn. Oh, thanks, Becky. Nice of you. We all need cheat days, right? My son brought over, hold on, where'd it go? My son brought over maple cheesecake topped in maple cheesecake with bacon bits. What? That actually sounds pretty good. I'm a big fan of cheesecake, but with cherries. Almond butter delivered today. I've never tried almond butter, actually. Chick-fil-A sauce is good. I think I've tried it once. Broccoli looks like something from space. It does, but I love broccoli. Broccoli and ranch, oh yeah. Horsey sauce, like horseradish, Lizzie? Is that what you mean? Yeah. If anybody ever has like really weird snack ideas like this again, or different ideas, I'm always down to hear it. Just saying. Your girl loves me some snacks. McDonald's hot mustard. I never think to try that. Maybe I'll like that. Anyways, guys, stoner food munchies. I know. I'm not even a stoner, but I get the munchies, yo. Oh, horsey sauce is from Arby's. See, I don't go to Arby's, Luna. I don't really like roast beef, but I know people love Arby's. I don't even know if we have it in Massachusetts, but I've definitely been there before. I think in other states. The Ronald McDonald House is near and dear to my heart. Very true. Oh, before you know what I'm going to post in my comments on this video? I'm going to tag Gabby's YouTube. I can't even talk. I think the soda's wearing off. Gabby's YouTube channel. I'm surprised she has not gotten to 1 million subscribers, you guys. Broccoli tots? No. Never even heard of them. Are they like tater tots with broccoli or something? Melted peanut butter over Chex cereal. Why is Chex cereal so universal in so many good, crazy, weird snacks? Melted chocolate and shake it, powdered sugar. Oh, yeah. Okay. I know I keep saying I'm going to go, but I make this stuff called Christmas crack. Christmas crack is you take saltines, right? And you lay them on like a sheet pan, and then you make your own like caramel. So you get like, you need a shit ton of butter. I'm talking like 4 sticks, okay? And you boil it with brown sugar, and you caramelize. You get it to the hard crack candy stage or whatever, and you boil it perfectly. It has to be done perfectly because it burns quickly, but you can't underdo it. Anyways, you pour it over the top of the Ritz crackers. You let it harden in the fridge. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So good. You could put you could sprinkle all kinds of stuff on that too, including but not limited to Chex Mix. Yep. Tater tot casserole. I'm thinking of that thing that the Canadians do. Poutine or whatever they call it, with the cheese and the friggin' tater tots and stuff and the gravy. Sounds kind of weird. I never had it, but I know it's a big deal in Canada. I'm missing all kinds of comments here because I'm on StreamYard. Not. I've made good broccoli tots. It's basically a tater tot filled with broccoli. That sounds good. I'd be down for that. Every time I hear tots, I think of Napoleon Dynamite. Are you gonna eat your tots? Are you gonna eat those tots? And then he puts them in his pocket. I love it. All right, guys. I'm gonna get going now, but thanks for joining me on this adventure of randomness. Didn't plan on being on this long. I'm glad that my headache went away. Fries, gravy, cheese curds is poutine. Thank you, T-Mac. I was a little mixed up on that. Yeah, send me recipes. I'm down. All right, guys. Get some sleep. Get some rest. 10:46 where you are. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's 1:47 here. I definitely gotta head to sleep. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. I'm going to make a Leon emoji, too. Leon emoji coming soon. Smash that like button. Thank you for reminding me, Seven. Smash that like button on the way out. Holla. Bye.